I figured, fuck it. Let's go live early. Let's slop it up, baby. We got the pig nose. We got the piggies. Let's get it. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure that everything's good because I don't have a guest yet. So let me know in the comments. Throw in the comments if you want James Harden to be a Sixer, dude. We're going off today. 100%. All right. Can you guys actually hear me? I'm not sure if you can. I need you to tell me if you can hear me. So please say that in the comments if possible. Yes, cool. All right, sweet. So we are live. Slop Fest 2022. Let's get it. The Sultan of Slop is here. That's right, Jack. All right, cool. So sweet. Everyone can hear me? We're going to have a nice little lineup of people coming through today. We got Mark Schindler on his way in. When he gets in here, I'll drop him in there. Wait, what happened to Trail? Wait, what do you mean? I don't understand. What does that mean, Jesse Montgomery? You got to explain to me. All right. So, okay. So you don't like my costume? All right, I guess we are anti-swine in here now. I can never please you guys, dude. It's infuriating. But so we already got some slop that obviously dropped today. I don't like they feel like a bunch of nothing trades to me. Obviously, we're waiting for the fucking. Thank you to Go Sixers Go for tweeting the picture of me with the pig nose and the pig ears. I'll probably be taking yeah, exactly. Thank you. This is our culture. Okay, stop, Jesse Montgomery. You're being mean. I'm going to kick you if you don't stop being a dick. All right. Anyway, wait, Harrison Grimm, why did you just tweet Jaden with a sad face? Jaden Springer, he's untouchable. We know this. You can't just tweet names of people on Slop Day. Oh, okay, thank you, Jesse Montgomery. I appreciate that. On Slop Day, you can't just tweet names of people and then not give context. So I'm going to need details in your comments, guys. So, like, my heart just dropped when you said Jaden because I was like, they would never trade. Oh, Jaden's not playing, but Jaden didn't play yesterday either. Okay, so the Jaden Springer thing is weird as shit, though. I don't have a Joker mask, unfortunately. I should have ordered one, but you know, I had to save up for this. So Jaden's not playing today. That's fine. Like, I mean, he didn't play yesterday either. But the weird thing is he did change his number to 0 on his Twitter handle. When I looked it up, it went Jaden Springer 11 popped up. When I went to his page, it was Jaden Springer 0. So I was like, what's going on here? And then, of course, everyone in Sixers Twitter has psychosis. So we were going insane, basically taking the leap from Jaden Springer is out today, and he changed his number on there to Kyrie wears number 11. He's going to get traded to the Nets. And we're going to get back Javon Carter, who I believe is also, I don't know. It's once again, the logic is you cannot follow the logic. But yeah, so I don't really know what's going on. Kyle's going to report Trill for daring to entertain this dog now. Here's the thing. Up until today, the information that we were hearing from everyone was that a trade was probably not, up until yesterday, I should say, was that a trade was probably not going to happen before the deadline. We were all hearing shit that was conflicting, blah, blah, blah. When Woj is reporting things, he's doing it from, as Matt explained on the last podcast, he's doing it from the perspective of a front office. So he's not lying necessarily. Like, he is basically saying that, you know, like there haven't technically been talks, but he bullshits his way around the fucking wording so that he's not technically lying, but he knows that this shit was happening. Like, it's insane. So giving up DiVincenzo makes the Bucks the worst vibes contender in the East. I don't know about that. You guys overrate the shit out of Dante DiVincenzo. Literally any player that went to school in the Philly area is 100% Waj. Yes, I do mean Waj. That's true. Guys, I have ADHD, so like if you keep commenting things, I'm just gonna keep responding. So just get used to that. I'm gonna be bouncing all over the place. Does the trade happen before 3? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that, like, I think that they're going to want to take it down to the wire. So what did Keith say? Guys, summarize me on the piece that Keith just dropped, which is yeah, no, it's fine. I'm neurodivergent. It makes me unique. But hold on. Okay. I'm trying to follow on Twitter. I have notifications and shit set up too, so hopefully giving up Dante for Surge seems weird. I don't know. Okay, you guys just keep saying, okay, the trade discussions are on pieces that will be in a potential deal. They don't want to include Thibault. I'm going to lose my mind. I literally just want to trade Matisse Thybulle so everyone can everyone can stop talking about Matisse Thybulle like he's Scottie Pippen. Like, he's a fine player. He's a fine player. We will survive if we lose Matisse Thybulle. We can figure out other guys to play. Like, you could literally, shout out to Harrison, you could get Torrey Craig tomorrow, and I don't think that the drop-off from Thybulle to Torrey Craig would be, like, massive. He can't play 30 minutes in a playoff game unless he either figures out mid-season how to shoot, or he somehow gains another offensive skill. He's a role player, exactly. And honestly, like, here's the thing. Thybulle is very good for specific matchups where he can lock down the other guy. And, like, he was great last year against Devin Booker, but then Devin Booker cooked him the other night. And it's like, you go from having a guy who's, like, not from a guy who's, like, a positive, like a slight positive, to, like, a massive negative on the nights where he's not absolutely locking guys up. All right, we got Mark here. Mark, what's going on?
Yo, what's up? The big face, Jesus Christ.
Like you like it? Oh,
yes.
They dodged the tax. Bol to the Magic.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, wow. Bol just getting passed around the league right now. What's your reaction to the Bol trade, Mark?
Wow, it is. This is groundbreaking territory. PJ Dozier is on the move as well. So,
whoa,
I like PJ
your boy.
Dozier, so
yeah, I know. We talked about him a few months ago. I think I don't know. You always mentioned, like, I feel like PJ Dozier. I know your guys, Najee Marshall, PJ Dozier, Shemezi Metu, like pretty much like
seventh man in the league. Yes, they have a place in my heart. No, I mean, he's out for the season still, so I don't know what'll happen. But yeah, no, Matisse is kind of overrated. I know I shouldn't say that on this pod. But
hey, no, that's what I was just discussing.
It's true,
let's talk about Matisse for a little bit, because I love Matisse more so for, like, what he brings. Like, he's a very good vibes guy. He's a great locker room guy. Everyone seems to like him and stuff. But this idea that this could be the third trade that we've heard of that Matisse Thybulle has held up. And, like, you could have got Kyle Lowry last year, and, you know, Maxey was involved with that one, so it's a little bit more complicated and blah, 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 and whatever. But, like, that, I don't think if it comes down to it that Thybulle will hold up this trade, but drawing the line at Matisse Thybulle, in addition to a bunch of other stuff, I guess that kind of makes sense. But, like, he's not the guy that should be untouchable on the Sixers.
Yeah, definitely, especially because not that he doesn't fit the team. He's honestly, like, he's played pretty well lately. Like, his offense has been a lot better, but, like, exactly, we're grasping at straws still with him playing the best offense of his career. So, I love Matisse. People are a little bit too hung up on him with this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, like, I think I was just explaining, it's like, so everyone keeps talking about how, like, the Sixers need, like, a lockdown guy for the playoffs, especially when they're going up against these really good teams. And I agree with that. I think that having, like, good perimeter defenders in the playoffs is extremely important. I wouldn't deny that. But at the same time, it's not just in a vacuum where you're just getting Matisse's defense and that's, like, an automatic positive. Like, one of the thing, because of the weird fit, like, if they were to trade for James Harden, because it's not, like, the cleanest fit in the world, I feel like having spacing around those two is going to be incredibly important for our half-court offense. And I would be a little bit more concerned with that. Maybe try to get a guy who could do, like, I don't think that Justin Holiday's nearly the level of defender as Matisse Thybulle, but, like, getting guys like that are just, like, catch and shoot guys who can attack closeouts, all that shit. And then maybe just figuring out a way to, like, piece together a perimeter defense because you have Joel Embiid on the back line would be more preferable to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I still think people don't realize how well Joel is playing defensively. I know he's had a couple of clunkers recently, partially because he's just fucking tired. But
yeah, exactly.
like when he's locked in and playing at his best, I mean, he's been amazing defensively. I agree too. Like they definitely have missed Ben this year. I know that's like saying
No, it's true. We all
gonorrhea in
know that.
public or something, but it's true, man. Like, but yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I just think to me, I would be so much more willing to move on from Matisse than Seth Curry. I think this offense would really struggle without Seth.
Yep, I agree. And like, if you, I'm not like, oh, like I think lineup data can be noisy, and I think that there's like it changes every year. Like 1 year's like this guy's like an amazing on-off guy. The next year, for example, Thibault last year in his role coming off the bench, playing with those bench units, his on-off numbers were actually pretty good. Like this year, not as much. But like if you look at going back to his days with Portland, Seth is kind of like one of the major reasons why I think the Nets are like, give me Seth Curry is because he's like such a good complementary offensive role player to stars. Like the Luka lineups with Seth were amazing. The Joel Embiid lineups with Seth, could not ask for a better fit with someone who is not a full out star. And if you even go back to his Portland days, like his lineups were Dame were great. His lineups with CJ were great. Like he just fits so well with stars and like is one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. And also is like absolutely deadly in the mid range. Like you would have to invest heavily in defensive wings to kind of make an offense work that has Maxey, Curry, and Harden at the point of attack as your guard defenders. But at the same time, like, I just think that you can figure out Thibault's production, whereas it's going to be really hard to replace Seth.
I mean, hey, we didn't even talk about the most important part. How much of a percentage does the computer change if Thibault goes? Does it get us closer to 5%? Does it get you farther away? Who knows, man? I mean, Daryl's got things cooking up, so
I don't know the algorithm. Yeah, I know, right? Like I always I look around the league and I'm like, when I look for guys, like funny enough, for some reason I always thought Justin Holiday was going to be a Morey guy because he shoots a ton of threes. He's a wing. He's on a $6 million contract. I was like, that makes sense to me for him being a Morey guy. I did hear they were interested in like him and Torrey Craig and even Buddy, but it sounds like Buddy's not going to get moved now. But like, I am just like, if you're fucking haggling over role players, like someone said, like maybe that's a fake line in the sand to kind of try to push the negotiations through and see if they can just like hold on to him. And then at the last second, they'll give him up or whatever. But like, basically I look at it like if they are trading for James Harden today, they can't just trade for James Harden. So like they have to give themselves for at least an hour to like, and we're an hour and a half away from 2:00, like at least an hour to kind of retool the roster around those guys, because it just wouldn't make any sense to me just to be like, okay, so we gave up half our roster, we got James Harden, and now what?
Yeah. No, that's a good point, man. That's like a lot of what comes into talking about everything with him. Like I think it's different maybe if Harris is healthy, like Joe Harris is healthy, and then that would be like if there's some way to finagle that as part of Harden and Harris coming back for whatever you end up sending them, obviously Ben. But I agree, like it's not just a plug and play scenario to a degree. Like you can't just be like, well, all right, we have Harden, here's our team now. Like I still think like I mean, if you add Harden to Joel, like I don't know if I would necessarily pick them to win the title or to make it out of the East, but I do think you add something that would be I'm sorry, I'm totally losing my train of thought here. But
no, I know what you mean. It's basically like it puts the Sixers in the conversation for sure. I don't know. I honestly look at the East this year, and I think the East is like, even if we were to trade Simmons, like let's say it's Simmons, Seth, and picks or whatever for Harden.
Yeah.
Unless the Sixers figure out some periphery moves to kind of shore up the wing position, because like our best players at that point would be guards, bigs, and then Tobias, who like offensively, Tobias has kind of figured things out recently, but like his defense is going to be a major problem when you have James Harden and Maxey as your primary defenders on the perimeter. Like it just is. Like Tobias, as much as he tries, like he still misses rotations a ton. He doesn't react very quickly. Like he's not a great help defender. And I still feel like if they are to move and make that move for Harden, like it puts him in the conversation, but like I'm going to be honest. I think we would probably be like kind of in the same tier as the second tier. Like if that was the only move they made. Like I think just because the Bucks won the title last year, and it might be confirmation bias, but like they've still looked pretty good when they're actually healthy this year. I would probably put them in the tier of their own, and then I would put the Nets, the Sixers, and I honestly think I would put the Heat in the same tier. I just really think the Heat are good this year.
Yeah, I mean, I would have the Heat over Philadelphia right now, which might turn some heads, but I think to me, I mean, I guess it's more if the Nets don't make a move, I would still have Miami on top of them right now, just because of the shitstorm that has been Brooklyn. I mean, Miami, and just in terms of looking at a team that is like depth doesn't matter as much when you get to playoffs. I don't necessarily like entirely agree with that, but just in terms of like, I can look at their top 8 and I'm not worried about them going to the playoffs. Like I do have questions about what their half court offense will look like, but I can't say the same about Philadelphia. I definitely can't say the same about Brooklyn. Obviously it's different if they have all 3 guys together or 2.5, because, you know, some games, but it's just, yeah, I'm there with you. Like adding one more guy on top. I don't know who that is. I'll be completely honest. I haven't really heard anything about the Nets just adding a role player. I mean, not the Nets, the Sixers just adding a role player, even though I think they need to.
Yeah.
But
Dennis Schroeder was the one name that was thrown out there, but like,
that's the guy to add. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, he's not gonna, especially if you don't trade for James Harden, he's not changing your life in any way, really. And I do think I agree with you with the depth stuff. The thing with Miami to me is like, it seems like no matter who the fuck they plug into that system, it just works. And with adding Lowry and like if Jimmy and Bam could be healthy, like PJ Tucker's been fucking awesome this year. Of course, he has this resurgence over the past year, just like kind of reviving his career and playing absolutely out of his mind this year. Like, I do think that the thing, like, I don't know what Pat Riley's cooking up, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. Did Eric Gordon get traded?
He did?
See someone, I don't know. I just saw in all caps, Eric Gordon. I don't know if they're talking about people they could trade for, but hold on.
I'm refreshing my Twitter.
I don't see any. I have notifications set up, but I do not see that. So do me a favor, Fagley. Don't just yell out people's names unless they're getting traded. Yeah. That
people
might have
on the timeline are bad people, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say just because it's confusing. Yeah. Okay. So, LeBron James. LeBron James has been traded. Going to McDonald's. Y'all want something?
Man. You can't even finish at the rim anymore.
I know.
Dude,
yeah.
Can we just say for a minute? I'm not here to
for
totally
LeBron.
just like shit on LeBron, but like I'm so sick of his post games, man. Like I can't. I was watching SportsCenter this morning because I had like nothing else to do while I was writing, and I'm just like, he's just like, yo, we're just like kind of in a fog right now, and I'm like, dude, like, come on. I get that this team is ass, but like. You're also like, he's not playing defense the way that he had before.
Yeah.
AD yesterday too wasn't either. Like I watched that game this morning and I was like, Jesus Christ, if the Lakers do not make a move today or multiple moves, and I'm just kind of out, man. Like, I mean, I've been out for the most part.
Yeah,
like,
same. Yeah.
A new level of out.
Yeah.
Also,
I still thought they were going to be like the 4 or 5 seed, even with the Russ shit, even though I didn't I worried more about the Russ stuff when it got to the playoffs. Because I was like, you know, Russ will be a decent regular season player for stretches, and he might be able to help keep you afloat when LeBron's out, blah, blah, blah. But like, clearly that experiment has not gone well. Honestly, I got a lot of shit from people yesterday because I tweeted and said, would the Lakers rather have Russ or Tobias for the rest of the season? Because I
saw
think
that poll, yeah.
And I know it was majority Tobias, and I do agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I still think like the Lakers when they won the title were built around, you know, defense and shooting, like around LeBron and AD. And Tobias, you know, defensively is not going to bring it to the table, but like if you remove Russ from the situation and you replace him with Tobias, I feel like I would like the Lakers' chances a little bit more. The problem, once again, is like if the Sixers salary dump Tobias to Oklahoma City, let's say, like then Oklahoma City flips him, like do they care about getting THT and an extra first round pick or Kendrick
Nobody
Nunn
really should, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the TH and THT is for theoretical. So I actually like I see it with him as a prospect, but like to the level where they're actually going to get somebody who is going to have a real actual impact on their team. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. I don't see that. I'm sure it'll happen today because they've been dangling him for forever. Also, does Kendrick Nunn just not have a shin anymore, or how bad is
I
this bone
know.
bruise? Like
Yeah, well, I
I've
have no
never
idea what
seen
happened.
anybody be out this long for a bone bruise. So I mean, like I legitimately hope he's okay, but like
Yeah.
it's weird, man. I don't.
They might just be holding him out, kind of at this point. I feel like because it's like we're like you're the only move that we can make because we can't get off the Russ contract. There's no salary matching, and just going back to the whole LeBron kind of melting down in press conferences and all that shit. Like it's literally I think you should leave. We're all trying to find the guy who did this thing. Like
Yes, exactly.
You're LeBron James. Like you are the one who calls even if they're not your ideas, you're the one that has to sign off on every single move that is made. And you signed off on the Russ deal. You got together and decided that it was a good idea for him to come there. And you knew your flexibility was not, it's very reminiscent of the 17-18 Cavs where like they just don't really have the same flexibility. At least that team had some contracts you could move. Yeah. Like
I thought I forgot about that. Oh man. Watching the home opener and Gordon Hayward's ankle just dies on national television and Dwayne Wade is there. People forget Dwayne Wade was not a bucket in Cleveland. No, he was Rose. Like God, that thing was so bad. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was really bad. And I just think like if the Lakers are going to try to make some sort of move, they have to figure out a way to get off of the Russ contract. And like I just don't see a team as we said before, like a team being like, I need THT or I need like you would honestly, Malik Monk would probably get you back more, but the problem is Malik Monk's on a veteran's minimum, and he's been very useful for them.
Like they can't afford to trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem. Like
yeah.
So
they're kind of screwed. It's okay. So it's very quiet right now. So of all new tweet from Chris Haynes.
Oh, Twan Moore has been waived.
Oh my God,
future Laker. Holy shit.
We have the perfect person on for this. I feel like since you've been on, it's only been PJ Dozier, Bol, E'Twaun Moore. Like this is your wheelhouse.
They know me. Yeah. I mean, like he honestly hasn't even played that much this year. I think mostly because they have a bunch of guards there, so they're not going to play him that much anyways. Like he played it for the first couple of weeks, and they were like, they did the like the old yeller, like you're just going to be a coach now. So instead of a shotgun, it's a contract that says you're not going to play anymore. But
he's the annual veterans minimum guy on random teams.
He's fine. Like he was. I think I most remember E'Twaun Moore for like randomly just breaking out for the Pelicans team that made the playoffs. But that's really about it.
Yeah, that's all I can really remember from him too. I just remember being like during the years when we were absolutely starved for a guard. I was like, E'Twaun Moore. Like you never like it was always like Shabazz Napier, E'Twaun Moore. It was like guys that would literally not like when we signed Trey Burke, it was probably the greatest day of my life, which tells you a lot about how the Sixers guard position was.
Philadelphia.
How could you forget, dude? He was the one who real Hooper pilled me.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, that was the genesis of real Hooper Pill Trill. But so all right, just because we got you on here, Young Parm is in there talking. So Young Parm is a huge fan of yours, and he needs you to talk about the Marvin Bagley trade.
Yeah, I like this for Detroit. Mainly because they don't have like a real big. I mean, they have Kelly Olynyk, who has been okay. I mean, he's been out for most of the year. He's looked okay, decent, like recently, but Isaiah Stewart has regressed a little bit this year, which has been disappointing. I think that he'll return to form, but I mean, I think part of it has been the coaching and everything too. But in terms of adding Bagley, like I just want to caution fans right away, please do not expect him to play the 5 because he is not a 5. Like we're just at the point where he cannot play the 5. He cannot finish through contact right now. He cannot play defense at the 5. He has figured out how to do some defensive things at the 4, which is like a massive jump up from where he's been at. So that helps. Oh, Chris Haynes, the Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia 76ers were what? Okay, they were engaged in trade talks. So it's literally the exact same shit that we've been hearing. Whoever told me to say that in the group chat, you're a bad person. I just want to say.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding
me? You can't just say that's a Haynes bomb. We literally just heard that from Woj on television 30 minutes ago.
That's a Haynes, like, what are the little smoke bomb things? I can't remember. But point being, Marvin Bagley, I still believe in him. He is like
Of
this
course
year
you do.
has been well, yeah, of course I do. But this year's been okay. All right. This year's been a lot more encouraging than I think the last year or so.
Well, that's good.
So
Troy Weaver is like I mean, I have to say the thing I like about Troy Weaver is he does what Morey used to do in Houston, which is he basically takes former high picks and he's like, you know what, these guys have talent. Yeah, and like you're literally giving up like nothing to get them. So like to me, it's a very low risk, high reward type trade. Like he did it with Josh Jackson in free agency a few years ago. Jaleel Okafor, that didn't work out. He does it.
You want to hear
guys
some
that he
shit?
really
Actually,
likes.
not to cut you off.
Yes.
Today is Josh Jackson's birthday, and he's from Detroit, and he just got traded to Sacramento.
Oof.
So that is a pour one out for Josh Jackson because that is tough.
That is really
actually
tough.
like of course I'm going to say it, but I do kind of not hate what Sacramento's doing. But
okay, so yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Sabonis move, and then we'll talk. So first off, the Sabonis move is what's most important, obviously. I like the Dante DiVincenzo move a lot because you were going to lose Marvin Bagley anyway. You already had Dante DiVincenzo on your team once. You might as well try it again. Like, fuck it, he was already traded to you. So they trade Halliburton and Hield, which was not really that shocking to me. I know a lot of people were shocked. I had people that were like yelling at me when I was like, Halliburton's on the table for Ben Simmons. I've been hearing it for 2 months and like, it's real. And like, then the Keith report comes out and blah, blah, blah. And like, I had heard it from so many people.
How many alarms do you think he has set today?
Oh, dude. Yeah. He's slot. Yeah. It's really tough. It's a tough day for Keith. Yeah. Oh my God. Slopfest, to be fair, Slopfest probably is like his own personal 9/11. Moving on. So I just want to say that when the trade went through, I wasn't super shocked, but I still was because I was like, the thing about, and it's not even just about like Sabonis is a good player. I like Justin Holiday. Like I like Sacramento adding those guys. The thing that shocked me so much about Sacramento doing that was just like, you have a guy who wants to be there. He's in the second year of his contract. He's 21 years old. He's been really good in his first year, and he's gotten even better in the second year. And then you're like, nope, we're going to make a move all in to get the play-in spot. So, like, what do you make of that? Like, I like the talent that they've added, but, like, just from, like, a, like, karmic standpoint, it feels weird to do that.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that comment is unhinged.
What is unhinged?
I don't implore you to read the comments. Actually, that is wow.
Yeah. They're always popping off.
So with Sacramento, I think this is tough, and also I don't mean to dip out. I'm gonna have to leave in probably 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, you're good. Go.
But with Sacramento, I try and be a little bit more in the middle on this. I can be sometimes annoyingly nuanced at times, I've been told. But I think the way that I had to look at it, like I love Tyrese Halliburton. I think that he's a fantastic young player. I think you can automatically go out and be like, yeah, the Pacers won this deal, especially for the direction they're trying to head in. I think what's really tough about this from Sacramento's standpoint is, I mean, Monty McNair is probably getting fired if they don't make the playoffs next year. Like he's probably already on the hot seat just based on everything that I've read and that's been reported. They can't really afford to wait for this team to just be good next year. I mean, to like be good in like 2 or 3 years and really build around Tyrese. As much as I think it's important, like if I were running the Kings and I didn't have Vivek Ranadive as my owner, I would definitely be building around Tyrese and trying to make that happen. But I think you can look at it and say, all right, Domas is 25 years old right now. He's under a team-friendly contract for the next 2.5 years, provides some flexibility. He and Fox have a really interesting fit offensively that I like. I don't think the defense is going to be as bad as people make out. It looked terrible yesterday, but I think it's going to be about
they're going to move Holmes and get something to help with that, and then Dante DiVincenzo, like they might be able to figure that out.
I liked the moves that they made today, like adding Dante. I don't really understand bringing Trey Lyles. I think it's more about Josh Jackson and just adding another wing, which they need, frankly. Yeah. But
they finally have wings on their team.
Exactly. Like I can't fully evaluate this until we're to the through the offseason and see what else has happened. But I mean, not to get rose-colored glasses just from last night, but I do think you can see the vision of what they're trying to do. Even if we can definitely say, look, this might not be great, but I understand where they're going. It's just going to depend for me on what they do in the offseason.
Yeah. Also, Tyrese Halliburton, I know you got to get out of here, but Tyrese Halliburton, love Tyrese Halliburton. I would have been fine with him being the main return in a Ben Simmons trade because I believe in him a lot. He's being massively overrated by everyone right now, I feel like. His potential, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, yeah, I think he could be an all-star level player. Probably not all NBA. Probably not like people like Bill. I know it's Bill, so take it with a grain of salt. But like,
Bill I can't believe you fucking listen to him, man. I
love him.
Makes
dude.
me want to die.
The thing about Bill that I like is that he's just like, he's very surface level and he's very digestible. And like, he's kind of like, he literally described himself as like the point guard of podcasts, which is like, he lets other people, and that's kind of like what I do too, but I'm not as insane as Bill Simmons, but like where I just kind of let people wax poetic and I just, like fill in and shit. But the thing that he was talking about was basically that like, he thinks that Tyrese Halliburton will be the second best player on a title team. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, I guess it's possible. Like,
sure.
But I'm with you here too. Like, this is what my issue is. Like, I think I totally understand being very excited about Tyrese's future. I think in some ways people have undersold how good Domas is right now, how much improvement.
Yeah, you're really high on him. So,
like, I mean, I feel like I have to be. Jesus Christ, I've had to defend that dude for 2.5 years. Like, I just think to a degree, being good now opens up more doors for you than another year of being mid as shit. So I think, well, some people would probably be like, well, this is just going to make them more mid. Well, maybe it doesn't. I think this is not just Kangs being Kangs to me. Like, I think this is, okay, if you're trading for like, if you're doing like the Julius Randle trade, then I'd be like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah, that would be a disaster.
This is different to me. So,
well, I have a question for you. Would you have, and I know that you're much higher on Sabonis than Randle, but would you have rather had traded Fox for Randle and built around Halliburton than trade Halliburton? Okay.
I think I would rather have traded Halliburton just for this because I don't, like, I'm not trying to be unfair to Julius, but I just think, like, I mean, Halliburton could buffer a lot of the things that he does, and I don't think that Julius is as bad as he's been today. I mean, not today. I don't think that they played today, but this season, I just think that would be a really tough sell for me. And especially, too, like, I don't love getting into, like, cap minutia and shit, but, I mean, Domas being the level player he is on 18
he's on
a
an
year the next 2 years is, like, that's insane for, especially when you're in a smaller market. Like, if you go out and get Julius Randle, you probably don't have the same flexibility to go out and make the Dante DiVincenzo trade. So, like,
true.
I think that's important stuff to look at. I really do hope that they sell off some of their vets. Like, obviously, we've known, I think Rashawn's going to get moved. I would like to see them move Harrison Barnes too, just to see what kind of value they can get back. But it seems a little bit less likely.
The Pacers and the Kings said yesterday they're not moving Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes, which tells me they're trying to move Buddy Hield.
I would be shocked if, like, I don't think they should just keep Buddy Hield, but we'll see what happens with that. I feel like they're just doing.
I just don't think the market is there. Like, I think that, like, I don't think they could get a first round pick back for him because of the contract. Like, if Buddy gets moved today, I think it would be a move where, like, maybe he's a throw in to, like, the Sixers trade, and like if the Sixers were to trade for Harden and then they get Buddy as like their sixth man that can, like. Once again, our perimeter defense would be fucking terrible, but you're leaning all into spacing plus Joel and Harden. So,
hey, man, right, another future Laker maybe, but I appreciate you, man. I got to bounce.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. Man. Peace, bud.
Good luck today. Hopefully things go your way. See ya.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I don't die live on air, folks. So talk to me because we got a little bit of time here until we got our next guest coming in. We got goddamn, is there anything really happening in the league right now? We got this league. Is this league drunk, folks? Are we white girl wasted on this league? So basically I didn't really miss any significant trades that have happened in the time. Yeah, it is very, very quiet. Conspiracy theory. ESPN paid some teams to let Woj break their trade at 1 p.m. so they can compete with Slop Fest for viewers. It's very possible, folks. The Trill Bro Dude media machine is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. Yeah, I don't understand. Why did Chris Haynes tweet? I respect Chris Haynes and all slop purveyors, but why did Chris Haynes tweet that when Doc canceled practice? Oh, Doc, known for his practices. So you know that it's very serious if he has canceled practice. Evan Massey. Let's see. Marcus Smart and Malik Beasley. We heard that like 2 weeks ago. There's no way the fucking Celtics are doing that. There's no fucking way, dude. I mean, just because Marcus Smart, I know that the Celtics need shooters and shooting, but Marcus Smart is a way better player than Malik Beasley. I think that I go back and forth on Smart between him being overrated and underrated, but he's still a very good role player and someone I would like to have on the Sixers, which is why I want us to target Pat Bev to do like a fake Marcus Smart impersonation. And he's on a cheaper contract and it wouldn't take as much to get him. Okay. Matisse has to feel pretty flattered. All right, so we got 2 hours until Thibault, Smart, Beasley 3-way. The contracts don't even come remotely close on that. Doesn't make any sense. Thibault's on a rookie deal still. He couldn't do that. So Celtics traded Bol and PJ Dozier to save money, poverty franchise. They probably weren't going to play for them anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't really understand. I think that what the Celtics plan, their plan last offseason was, let's just acquire a ton of fucking contracts that are that are movable in case we can make a move at the deadline or next year. So they got Schroeder, they got Hernan Gomez, they got Josh Richardson. They got basically a bunch of guys that they can just move. Like they have like the most medium level contracts of maybe any team in the NBA. So they can make one of those like splash moves if they have the ability to, but it's just got down to the point where like the Celtics don't really understand, like the Celtics understand that they're not good enough to contend. Like, I think that they're probably better than what their record was early. They're definitely better than a 500 team. But like, to me, it's sickening. Like if I were a Celtics fan right now, I'd be fucking pissed that ownership's just like, yeah, let's just not make any big moves and try to avoid going into the tax. Like, I don't know, like how many years do Jalen and Jason have left? Like you got to do everything in your power to keep those guys happy. Unless they know that they're going to get Bradley Beal. Unless they know, shut up, Ty. Unless they know, oh, Reed is here. Unless they know they're going to get Bradley Beal this offseason, I don't really understand. A first for Robin Lopez? Okay. Reed Wallach, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
I'm happy you cursed when I was sitting backstage because I am so fucking distraught. Like we are in like the pressure cooker now where I am like just shaking. I've had 2 coffees already today. Like I literally like, I mean, for those of you who don't know me, I am like the most diehard Nets fan it gets.
That's
like,
why I had to have you on.
Yeah, like I am, and it's weird because I don't have like beef with like Sixers Twitter or anything like that. This isn't like
you should. We're psychos.
Oh no, you guys are nuts, and there's not many of us. I am like a small cult here, but like yes. I have the Jason Kidd jersey behind me, but I am just because it's like the weirdest situation of all time. There's so many different things going on with these 2 teams because at the core of it all, it's like Sixers and Nets, 2 rivals, Atlantic Division, if that even fucking matters, but like Eastern Conference foes, like trading within each other. So like, I just don't know how this is all going to play out. I think he gets traded still, but I mean, we could talk about that.
So we have 2 hours now until the deadline, which, I mean, I always said if it does happen, I think it's going to happen an hour before the deadline. I think it goes down at 2 p.m. so that it gives both the Nets and Sixers time to make other moves if they need to make other moves. I think clearly the rest of the league might be holding up on some moves to kind of be like, all right, let's see how that plays out. Can we get involved? Can we, as the ripple effects of guys getting moved around the league, can we maybe snag some guys, whatever it is? I do think that so a few days ago, I was probably at, when I did my cast the other night, I did 30% is what I said. Based on what I was hearing.
30, yes.
30% chance of it happening, okay. As of like 2 days ago, I was like, okay, maybe it's more like a 50% chance of it happening. And now I'm at like 55 to 60% chance of it happening because the thing is that Woj has been playing both sides the whole time. He's been leaking for Mark.
He's been Nets, man. He's been carrying Sean Marks water.
He's the last 2 days, but today the
league single mother just carrying because you got Morey going from every which way,
right?
Just everything like discussions, Windhorst in the deal zone, all this stuff. That's all Morey. Woj's like they have not. What happened?
No, Woj just speaking on ESPN now.
I got my tweet up on my monitor on top of the computer. But like, Woj has been saying they haven't spoken. There haven't been, and then like he's slowly like there hasn't been anything meaningful. There hasn't been this, and then he's like slandering James Harden on his way out, saying he's kind of forcing his way out. So I don't know. I think Woj has been the Nets kind of earpiece here. That's
for,
how I
for the
see
last
it.
2 or 3 days. But
Yeah.
going back to the offseason, he was the first one, I believe, that reported that like we were interested in bringing in Harden. Like he's been on Morey's side kind of the entire season. Like all of these leaks, like everything that has happened the last 2 or 3 days is when it has kind of changed. The tone has changed to be more pro Nets. It's been on that side. I think he's kind of doing more of a favor for Sean Marks. And then today he comes out and says the funniest thing I've ever heard. Harden doesn't want to make people upset by asking out, but also, by the way, he fucking wants out. Like, how the fuck does this add up? Like, you're literally like, if Harden were to come out and say he wanted out, he would actually be fine for doing it. He was fined in Houston for doing it. So he was never going to come out and say anything. He might be, I think it's possible he has been telling one thing to Nets ownership just to keep them happy. And then things kind of soured when he had this new hamstring injury.
He's not hurt. He's not hurt.
No, he's definitely not hurt. I know. And if it is, it's okay. So, Woj says both sides are motivated to get the deal done. Let's go. So
he didn't tweet that, right?
He said it on television, which is so.
So you were talking about like your percentage chances. So yes. I'll give you my timeline as we kind of talk, because then I want to ask you what your package would be and what I guess I would want.
No, people want to know about my package all the time. Yes.
But so last Wednesday when he, in my opinion, mailed in that game against Sacramento, that's when this thing really kind of spiraled. And I wrote in like my little Nets like rabid group chat, I go, I think there's like a 10% chance we trade Harden. Like I don't think it's likely, but like I think that this could really get out of hand. This could really spiral. And Sam Amick, per source, there's a whole lot of optimism coming from the Ben Simmons camp that a deal with Brooklyn gets done. More here. And I'll talk while I open this link.
It looked like your soul just left your body as you said that. Okay. You were like, more here.
As you just see me like dying.
Amick, by the way, the good one. Amico, the bad one. Sam Amick, we have forgiven you for your Kings reports saying that Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox were not on the table in a Ben Simmons deal. We have forgiven you if you are true on this one. It does sound like a deal will probably get done.
All right. So this sounds like a Morey plug here. As a source close to Simmons who expressed this confidence put it, I guess confidence towards a deal. The only thing that might mess the trade up now is, quote, ego on the Nets side of the equation. On one side, you have a 3-time All-Star Simmons who could help salvage Brooklyn's reeling season while rehabilitating his image has been so tattered over the past year. On the other, you have a player in Harden who has suddenly become a rapidly depreciating asset. It makes too much sense, but will Nets GM Sean Marks see it that way? Do you think Morey literally texted that to Amick and said, hey, Sam, can you put this in a blog post for me, please? I need it. I need to get some leverage back.
He had Elton. He was like, Elton, come here. He put Marks on mute and was like, word for word, Elton, send this to Sam Amick right now.
Like on a sheet of paper.
So it is funny because, I mean, you could look at it from either side and say, wow, which team really does have the leverage? Because it's fucking like a weird-ass situation. But at the same time, I do think that the only reason I think that you could even make the argument that the Sixers have any leverage is because I genuinely think, I'm not even exaggerating, I genuinely think that Morey is psycho enough just to not do a deal if he doesn't get Harden. Like, he would be like, okay, fine. That's fine. Like, he is that insane. But at the same time, like, dude, Ben Simmons is never playing for the Sixers again.
There's a chance James Harden's ever playing for the Nets again.
At least a small, or if he is playing, do you want him playing is the question.
And so that's why I thought, because the body language was so bad in that Kings game. And like then Friday, I mean, I was DMing with you. I told you over the weekend, I was like, he's definitely getting traded. I said since this weekend, I was like, he's definitely out. Because the real thing, James Harden doesn't go on the market. Like, it's not like James Harden's like a tradable asset. He says, I don't want to play, or he acts like it. And then you trade him. So I think that it becomes James Harden's acting on his own, and the Nets need to act what's best for them. I'm a Nets fan, so like I want what's best for the team. And like, okay, let's talk package, because like yours.
Okay.
Let's talk. What would you be cool giving up with? Because obviously you're coming away with the superstar. You're coming away with James Harden.
Right.
I have what I would take as the ideal pack. The ideal
Sound like a used car salesman. I just want to say multiple time All-Star or MVP candidate, won an MVP.
He could totally finish around the rim still. He's totally fine. He's totally okay.
His first step, it's great, folks. We love that. We love James Harden's first step over here.
Wait for his hamstring to be magically cured in the next few days when he debuts for the Sixers. But like, what's too much in your opinion? Like, are you cool playing this out? I'll turn this around on you. Are you cool sitting out this year? Because there is a chance that like Harden's just kind of being a bitch right now, and you get Durant back on the floor because like they did beat the Bulls by 30, and like there's some optimism around Kyrie being cleared. I don't want to like put that out there and say like this is happening, but like
he put that out there. He did a secret thing where he was like, they were like, oh, is there any news? And he was like, no, I just have a good feeling. I'm like,
I was like, I don't want to like listen to him too much because then you like drive yourself insane. But like he almost sounds too obtuse to like the situation. Like you have to like have like some sort of inclination something's happening. So like if let's say the Nets, they get healthy, they keep Harden, he's in a better mood and they do win it all, which like that is in the realm of possibility.
Of course. Yeah. They're talented enough.
The losing streak, it looks really bad. And I think when Durant went down, they didn't expect to lose 9 straight. I think they were like hoping for like a skid, but like obviously this has gotten out of control, but like it's not the end of like all. Like I know they're in the play-in game now, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like it's February.
They'll be fine.
Durant can come back. I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah.
So like Morey's running a risk on the Nets winning it all, and all of a sudden Harden's like, wow, I love it here. Fuck the taxes.
I won the title. Yeah, exactly. Also, like all of that stuff.
That's the worst report ever. No disrespect to Jake Fisher. No,
it's not. Exactly. It's like you can. Maybe all of it adds up to a bigger picture of why James Harden hasn't enjoyed his Brooklyn experience.
Hey, Ian Begley, who is shaky record. Knowledge of Philly Brooklyn dynamics says Nets have been seeking Matisse Thybulle in a James Harden package.
I'm sorry to the piggies in the chat. I am not high on Matisse Thybulle as a playoff player. I've seen him in the playoffs for 2 years now. He might work in a team like Brooklyn better than he would work on a team like Philly, even if we get James Harden. Like
Frank Isola, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're good. You're good. No, this is Slop. Come on.
This is the Slop we need.
Yeah.
Frank Isola, who I think is fairly plugged. He works for Yes Network now. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, a first and a second is the Sixers offer, according to a source. The addition of Thybulle gets it done.
Okay, so I would do that, but I also
think
Thybulle? That yes. Okay. Here's my thing. I think it makes the Nets very good. I'm not even like I think I'm on record as saying I think Seth Curry is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. Like insanely efficient scorer. He would definitely compound some of your defensive issues. But when Kyrie and KD are locked in, I'm not really as worried about their defense as I am with James Harden, especially an injured.
Durant is like first team All NBA. Like I think
very good defensively.
It gets forgotten because he's just like literally a bucket. But like, look at the Nets' defensive issues without him. He is unbelievable on defense. Rim protector, sliding out, switching. That's why I've talked myself into this Thybulle, Curry, Simmons package. Obviously, Maxey seems to be like the crown jewel of the trade.
Yeah, I'm not giving up Thybulle. That's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm not giving up Maxey. Like I'm extremely high on Tyrese Maxey and just like what he's shown us this year. And like my biggest thing about giving up Maxey is what if we got to the summer and the Washington Wizards were like, we really like Tyrese Maxey and Bradley Beal wants a trade. Like you could be in a scenario where you're giving the Nets the opportunity to just get Bradley Beal, or you're giving them the opportunity to just get like, it's possible that Maxey just ends up being like a good, not great player. He's a small guard, but like
he's really good, dude. Like he was third on my draft board going into that draft. I was shocked. Awesome. You guys have crushed the last 2 drafts. That's why if they're throwing in pieces,
Springer.
I'll take Springer. I'll take Paul Reed. Like not as good, but like I like Charles Bassey coming out. I know he doesn't really play for you guys, but like
he's been good this year. Like when he has moments where I'm like, he's an NBA rotation center, which is like
Pompey.
What do you say? Hammer says Matisse is the holdup, and that's literally it.
It's happening, man. It's happening.
Everything else,
and I think they throw Thybulle in.
I think they throw Thybulle in too. So the question is, do we, in order for the players to work? So first off,
that trade works in the trade machine.
I would give up Thybulle just to make the trade work because it's like I'm very much of the mind that you can figure out defense. Like you can figure out, like you can get a Torrey Craig, you can get someone who's going to give you, if not like the thing about Thibault is like, while he would make your guys' defense a lot better, and like he's one of the best perimeter options in the league, and I wouldn't feel great about having to go up against the Nets with Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle. They're largely unplayable together in the playoffs. And so Thybulle's probably going to have to shrink down his minutes a little bit. And on top of that, like KD and Kyrie are amazing talents, but like just like every other star in the NBA, they thrive on having spacing around them, and he will fuck up your spacing just like Ben will. But the difference is that Ben can maybe buy into a role because he's talented enough and big enough, and like he's good at like role player things that you can just like Matisse is like defensively, he's great at all of those things. Offensively, he's like a massive negative. So like, I think if you slide him down as like a fifth starter in some lineups, he would be totally fine. But ultimately, I'm not like that. That cannot make or break a deal to me. Like, I really don't think that like that could like Morey doing this for the second time with Thybulle, making him make or break a deal would literally drive me insane.
So here's my question to you. Try to be as objective as possible. This deal goes through with Thybulle and that package. Who's the better team?
I think that they're the same tier. That's the thing. It's like I think behind that like Milwaukee. I would put them. So I'd put Milwaukee 1 just because like when they've been healthy, they've been fucking amazing, and also because I give props to them. They did it last year. Like they've actually proven that they can do it in the playoffs. Even though their half-court offense is still going to be an issue in the playoffs, and it was last year, I think that they might be able to figure some things out. So I just want to say that, like, I would probably put Philly and Brooklyn in their own tier, and I might even include, like, Miami in that, just because I think Miami, like, has 4 really good top guys. They have got great depth, the best coach in the NBA. Like I also think that they could make a move today. Like they just freed up a pick. They have Duncan Robinson's contract, and like that's probably more of a neutral contract than a negative contract. Like I think that maybe they could go out and get one more wing to add to the rotation and kind of shore up their rotation. Brooklyn's already calling teams about Matisse Thybulle.
Bye. What a tenure.
but that's what I'm telling you is like, this is why Morey and Marks are both very smart, because
they're as 2 of the best you could get, honestly. That's why, like, I wasn't concerned when this situation was kind of spiraling. Like, Sean Marks has my trust as a fan. Like, he's going to do what's best for the team, and like, he's not going to fuck this up.
Yep.
Like, obviously, you're losing James Harden, but like, again, if he's going to bitch and moan and tear this locker room apart, forget the Kyrie issue for a second. Like, first of all, Kevin Durant is signing off on all of this. Kevin Durant is in control here. This isn't like Kevin Durant's threatening to leave either or anything. Like KD is in on these talks. So like I trust Sean Marks to make the right move. And listen, like you mentioned all those Thybulle concerns. I was concerned too. Like if Thybulle was like 34, 35% 3-point shooter, I'd be like, okay, he could fit. Yeah, that works. He doesn't. So
you've seen it with Bembry and Bruce Brown. Like, if you don't have guys who are just like knockdown shooters around your stars, like it's going to be a struggle.
These injuries have killed them this year. They've been getting killed by injuries, and Joe Harris being out for basically the entire season. And I think he's like, I wouldn't be shocked if Joe Harris gets moved right before the deadline. Also,
honestly, they should just make a push. Like, if you're making a push, you should trade Joe Harris right now. And I think Joe Harris is a very good player, and he won't shoot as poorly as he did in the playoffs last year.
That was like me, just like my heart like falling out of my chest.
Right. Yeah.
Next to me watching.
I do wonder, like, if you get Seth Curry, that like, okay, so we talked about this the other day. Like, Shams, it happened. They did it. It's done.
Okay. All right.
It's happened. Yeah. It's
Thybulle
done.
not included.
Thybulle not included. Seth Curry and Ben Simmons and draft picks. I'm guessing a first and a swap is my guess. Wow.
Yeah, here's my like the reason why I'm most upset is that like it's admitting a failure, you know, like this fucking asshole gets his way. Like
I understand. I totally get it. Like if this were happening to the Sixers, I would be like, fuck this guy.
Oh, don't worry. You got Paul Millsap, too. Good for you.
So we got Paul Millsap, baby. Wash Millsap, baby. Let's go. I wonder if we okay. Woj reported Drummond is out. So Drummond was included.
2 first-round picks in Drummond.
Oh,
and that's probably how Mills, right? Isn't Drummond on an expiring or a minimum?
Fuck. Drummond's been good this year, man. He's a good backup center.
We need some size. He could help us in like the home games where like we need kind of like spark plug. By the way, I swear I told all of my friends who tuned in, like, I'm telling you it's going to happen in the next half hour.
That I was going to say,
I know like for a fact it's going to happen in the next half hour.
Literally, fuck. Okay, so
congratulations. You get your guy.
Thank you. So you guys get so by the way, formal apology to Daryl Morey, who I've been trashing all season, who held out for his guy. He knew more information than me. Thomas Bryant from the Discord, you're fucking goated, dude. You've called this the whole way. Basically said Morey knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but I just want to couch that with saying, I also was under the thought that he was not going to trade Ben Simmons before the deadline. So now that he has traded Ben Simmons and gotten back James Harden for him, I have completely done a 180 on that. I mean, I'm incredibly thrilled. You guys, I think you guys are still going to be really fucking good, man. Like not getting Thibault is interesting. I wonder. I'm trying to think of like the Sixers have to get another. I like Charles Bassey, but like he can't be your backup. Like
so, I've been floating out like to like my Nets chats and whatever. Like my thought was the goal is Maxey. They end up with something like Harden. They end up with Simmons, Seth, and something like Jeremy Grant.
Yeah. Okay. So
that was like my realistic. I guess Thibault instead of Grant, but doesn't seem like Thibault's coming. But like, do they now
flip the Sixers pick and Joe Harris and some of your young
Jeremy
players?
Grant? Do you do that? Like, okay, then all of a sudden, the Sixers are sending the Nets an unprotected 2022 first and
our next year
protected 2027 pick.
Okay, so we don't have 2022, 2025, and 2027 now. We have 23. Like we have every other year now. So I'm incredibly pumped. I also shout out to everyone in the Discord who has been saying for days that Nihilist Bucks and Austin Krell did not have good information about this. They've been kind of keying us in on certain things and letting us know. So it sounds insane that James Harden is a Sixer after a year and a half of the first episode of my podcast. You don't know this, but the first episode of my podcast was literally called James Harden is not a Sixer and I am not okay. So we might come full circle here, folks. I don't think the deals are going to be done. I would imagine that the floodgates are going to open with
now teams can make moves for sure. Again, I think that the Nets are not done. I mean, I saw this morning that they were tied to Dorian Finney-Smith. Maybe that's the Thibault-esque player they get, because now the Nets kind of transform themselves on the fly to no longer the best offense of all time, but like a potential juggernaut on defense with Simmons and Durant switching. Like you could play Simmons at the 5, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you have KD's rim protection, one of the issues with the Ben Simmons at the 5 lineups have always been Ben is not a great rim protector. And also, if you want to add on top of that, you want Ben Simmons on the perimeter, generally speaking. Like, yes, he can defend in the post, but like you're not optimizing Ben Simmons if you have him like being a help side rim protector. Like he's just not going to be doing like that all the time. But you have KD to do that on the back line. You have the switching potential with those guys. Like, I don't hate that for sure. And I think, I've said it time and time again. Ben's struggles in the playoffs are noted. Everyone knows them. But also putting Ben into like a hyper role player role where he can thrive in Brooklyn might be the best thing for his career. Like Ben is ultimately like a really good role player. He's not a star. That's the misdiagnosis of Ben Simmons, is that like he's really good he does all the little things, but he's really talented.
Like obviously, and I have my reservations about Ben Simmons. Like I am going to say I didn't want him before this. Like it wasn't like something I was like looking forward to, because obviously the lasting image is him passing up that layup and stuff. And I understand why. I've talked myself into it because of the defensive fit and the fact that Kyrie and KD are just that good offensively to offset some of those issues. Like that's not Seth and a banged up Embiid anymore. That's like 2 of the best one-on-one scorers in the league. So talk me, like, is Ben Simmons that terrible, or like you actually like this fit? You think he could be successful here and get over his demons?
No, I think he'll be fine for you guys. I've never my thing with Ben Simmons has always been like, I don't want him on the Sixers due to the fit, due to the fact that he doesn't want to be here, due to the fact that like he shrinks in the playoffs, and like maybe if he can get over that mental block of whatever's happening, because it's not all just about Ben's ability. Like, I think that Ben has plenty of ability and like has had stretches in his career where he does look like a legit star. And like maybe going to Brooklyn will be what unlocks him, but it's also possible that you get to the playoffs and teams just aren't concerned with him in the half court and that he can muck some things up. But if you want to talk about like a kind of a perfect scenario for him, third guy in the totem pole offensively, main perimeter defensive option, can run the team in transition. You have great shooting around him, 3 elite shooters that will actually shoot.
Are you including Patty Mills?
4, really? Yeah, I forgot about Patty Mills. Shit.
And if Joe Harris could figure out, like,
right,
the issue for the
Nets are going to be very good still.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if it'd be pretty crazy if they won it all this year, given all the shit that they just went through.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they're out of it. It's tough to really, get this all together really quickly. But listen, who wants to play that team in a 7-game series, especially if Kyrie gets cleared?
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Nightmare. If Simmons could figure it out, like, is he gonna? When do you play twice at our place? When do we play you? We play March, I know.
March 10th, so it's coming up very soon.
Is Simmons gonna play?
So
I imagine he's out for the All-Star break, right? First game back from the break.
I think Simmons he'll probably. Yeah, my guess is that he
probably
like
ramp up time and all that.
Yeah. So I would imagine that he's just going to wait and come back after the break and be fresh and all that stuff. And also, like, just generally speaking about I don't think he's going to play in Philly this year at all. Also, I just want to say, I got a text.
No. We need a playoff series.
Oh, we need it. 100%.
Air to breathe.
100%.
All the scenes, whoever wins, like, that would be
fun.
Easily. The NBA's got to be pulling for that. That would be like the highest rated series in years, probably outside of the finals. That would be so intense, so much bad blood.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Also, I just got a text from my friend saying this guy is coping on your stream right now.
I'm trying to keep it. I mean, I told myself since Friday that this deal was going to happen one way or another. So
right.
I hope I'm putting up a brave face and,
No, you're doing. I mean, dude, I get it. I'll talk you down off the ledge, bud. It's okay.
No, I'm still confident. It's more just like accepting the failure of
of the Harden
whole thing. I mean, I don't even know what they ended up giving up to get back. I mean, does extend the window, I guess, because you get Simmons, who's younger. Like, my issue with Harden going to Philly is you're going to pay him all that money.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, but we just don't have an option.
I know how great he is. He's not this. He's about to transition into another part of his career that I think is best suited next to 2 elite shot creators like Kyrie and Durant. I don't know how that's.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
He's not a 1A anymore. He's just not.
I do just want to say, if the Sixers are going to win a title, it will be running through Joel Embiid. And if they can get James Harden to buy into a role, which has not happened so far yet in his career, it is a risk, but you have his guys here in Philly. You have Daryl Morey, you have Tad Brown, you have the guy, by the way, Tad Brown, shout out to Tad Brown, who follows me on Twitter, the Sixers CTO for some reason.
He's probably watching the stream right now.
Yo, Tad, shout out my homie Tad. We did it, bro. He's like a father figure to James Harden, apparently. So, like, Michael Rubin's friends with him. Like, I think that one of the reasons why Harden was struggling in Brooklyn is because when he was in Houston, Morey let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. He did. Mm-hmm. The reality is, Harden has now quit on 2 teams and he's beef with teammates and shit like that. But the Sixers don't have an option to get a top 10, top 15, whatever player he is, former MVP. Maybe he gets healthier. Maybe he figures some things out.
He is going to be bouncing around the court. He's going to have his highest energy game of the year in his Sixers debut. When do you guys play next?
Tomorrow. But he's probably not going to play. He's probably not going to play tomorrow. No, I would imagine it's 2 days.
He's going to be running around, slapping the floor. Dude, I'm telling you, you could see the writing was on the wall. He quit. Then he like getting treatment during the game and stuff. He quit. And like, obviously we didn't even, I've been on for almost a half hour. We haven't even discussed the Kyrie thing. And like, that's probably a lead indicator as to why he left. But like, I don't know, man.
That's the one thing that I feel like is being
we'll see. Listen, Doc
conveniently
Rivers,
left out of the narrative is that Kyrie Irving is seemingly refusing to get vaccinated and not being able to play home games, which I know that Harden has his reputation and shit, but like that would frustrate literally anyone.
No, that hijacked the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
That definitely, that put a huge stake in the season for sure. But like, if this mandate gets lifted in New York in a few weeks, would be pretty ironic. Like if the Nets go further than the Sixers, that I would dance all over James Harden's grave. Like I would. It does get a little personal with like Nets fans.
For sure,
we're not in volume the fans, but we have a passionate little sect here, and it definitely. I mean, a playoff series.
It's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah, it's like in like sleepaway camp when like with like the girls, it's like quality over quantity. We're good, but like I mean, it's definitely. I'm pulling for a playoff series against the Sixers just for all the bad blood. I don't know if Simmons could handle it, but like, is he going to be just okay? Like, is that the vibe from like the Sixers and stuff? Like, he's just like cool. He's good to go.
Ben?
Yeah. Like he was totally just getting out of it.
He didn't want to be here. The mental health shit was, I mean, here's the thing. Ben Simmons has real mental health issues, but they're not the things that he was realizing. Like he clearly has performance anxiety, which like is a real thing. And I'm not saying it isn't, but like everything that happened with all that, like it was just time to move on. Ben will be fine playing for any other team. Like literally his agency came out and was like, we will play for any other, like we'll play in Sacramento. We'll play in, you want us to play in Shanghai? Like we don't give a fuck. Get us the fuck out of here. So
by the way, I know I have to go, but I have to go, but I have one more thing. The reporting and the tampering charges that are going to come out of this trade are going to be
epic. $100,000 fine and a second round pick. Oh no.
No, but the reporting on how this saga all played out when like the Nets really just air out the dirty laundry
this summer
is going to be hysterical.
It's going to be great.
They're going to rag him on the way out. I mean, listen, he could claim all he wanted. He didn't want to be a quitter, whatever. Like, dude, you literally quit again. Like, you did. I understand you're pissed about the Kyrie thing, but like,
cope.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you in the playoffs.
All right, bud. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your insight. James Harden is a Sixer. Let's go. Peace.
For sure, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Let me add Tim to the stream.
Oh, man.
Is this a Sixers fan too?
No, this is a Pistons fan who we thought that Jeremy Grant would have been traded by now, but
hold on. I got my TJ McConnell jersey with me right now. You see it?
Yeah, close enough, right? Yeah, used to be on the team. So, all right. So are we getting more and more details? Peace, bud. I'll talk to you later. Okay, so the Sixers have made a trade, folks. I don't know if you heard about this, Tim, but so Ben Simmons will take his time to get acclimated with Brooklyn. Sounds like he's already had conversations with Kevin Durant and they're on the same page. This is insane, man. Okay, so I just want to say, before we get into anything else, I already apologized to Maury. I already said he was right. I was wrong. All this shit. I just want to say that people said that this deadline was not going to be that crazy. And we have now seen Ben Simmons, James Harden, CJ McCollum, Tyrese Halliburton, Domantas Sabonis. Everyone on the Slop Pass poster has been traded today. It feels like literally every player is getting traded right now, except for Jeremy Grant, who we will see in the next hour and a half if your boy Jeremy Grant gets moved. So, oh my God, what is happening, Tim? So Ben Simmons is a Net and James Harden is a Sixer, I guess.
I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for Sixers fans around the world. This was a long time coming. And the fact that it happened, I will say I am most happy for Andre Drummond. He gets to play with his best friend Blake Griffin once again.
Which do they not like each other?
No, I don't know if they like each other or not.
Oh, okay.
I imagine
former Pistons.
Well, he went from Tobias Harris to Blake Griffin. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that Andre Drummond, he might get a championship out of this.
Possibly, maybe.
Blake Griffin might get a championship out of this. But also for you and for everyone else, I'm really hoping Embiid gets the championship out of this. That's who I want the most. But I love it.
I just want to say, it's one of those things where, like, you ever watch like a detective movie and like at the end of it, like it's over. It's like this thing you've been obsessed with for like 9 fucking months. And then you're like, what do I do with my life now? Like, I feel like this has been the cloud really since Morey got here. You could even extend it back further because of the original Harden trade that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, literally since December 2020, I have transported my mind into this reality where like the most important thing is getting a second star to pair with Joel Embiid, whether that's James Harden or Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. And they fucking did it. And they honestly, I know that I have all of my concerns about Harden's personality and maybe the fit with Embiid isn't perfect and blah, blah, blah. But this is a move you make 10 times out of 10. This is a move that you make to get the best possible player with Joel Embiid playing like an MVP. You get to fucking keep Tyrese Maxey. We didn't even have to trade Maxey. Like,
after we went off about it for so long.
Right.
We talked about it for like 45 minutes, whether or not to include Maxey. And you got through without including Maxey or Thibault. This is a Daryl Morey masterclass.
Yeah. And honestly, from a win now perspective, I still think that Seth Curry is the best player that was not James Harden or Ben Simmons included in this trade. And I think that or that could have potentially been included in the trade, I should say. And it's going to hurt to lose him. Like, Seth is one of the best shooters of all time. He's everyone seems to like him. Like, he's become a very good shot creator. I would argue he's been our second best player all season. It's not going to be easy to replace him, but at the same time, when you have the opportunity to get one of the 40 greatest players of all time, you fucking do it. And the only thing that I'm genuinely, Philly has no leverage. January 24th, Bill Simmons, when he suggested we should trade Ben Simmons and a first-round pick for Domantas Sabonis and Jeremy Lamb. Rest in piss, Bill Simmons. James Harden is a Sixer! Let's go! Let's fucking go.
A little bit of slop for you. Looks like Brian Windhorst on TV. Brooklyn is looking to making other deals. Nick Claxton might be out. That's why they got Drummond.
Okay, so if they move Nick Claxton, I'm assuming they would probably try to send out Joe Harris as well, because otherwise you're not getting.
Could you imagine a Joe Harris, Nick Claxton for Jeremy Grant trade?
That's what I'm saying. Is like maybe they take one of the Philly pick this year.
Yep.
Jeremy Grant. Then in that case,
roll it.
I would be like,
keep rolling.
Yeah. You're like, please. Well,
actually, Claxton. I don't love Joe Harris. I like Nick Claxton in Detroit. We just traded for Marvin Bagley. So that's like, we got like the jumpy big.
Yeah.
Oh, Woj, the Brooklyn Nets are still working to be aggressive and more deal making, armed with two new first round picks.
Gotcha.
So why does it feel like they're going to get Jeremy Grant? And your boy Reed, I was listening before, is going to be right.
So if they go get Jeremy Grant, then your starting five is that's a massive starting five.
Says the Boston Celtics are hitting Josh Richardson to the Spurs for Derek White.
What? Wait, what with Josh Richardson? To a pick?
I don't know. Shams just tweeted it. You know how he jumps the gun all the time, so you know it's going to be something else. But that's a huge upgrade, I'd say.
Yeah. Wait, what? Derek White's really good. That's it?
So will Nick Claxton and 2 first-round picks get Jeremy Grant? I don't think Joe Harris is coming back. So Nick Claxton,
I like that trade for the Celtics a lot, though. I'm sad.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be more than just that. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, damn. Yeah, no, slow deadline. Derek White and Josh Richardson just got traded, by the way.
Man.
It's so funny because a few years ago, I remember trying to trade, not even a few years ago, it was really end of 2020, trying to figure out if we could trade Josh Richardson for DeMar DeRozan when he was on the Spurs. Al Horford and Josh Richardson for DeMar. Like, I was like fucking doing anything just to get Josh Richardson out of here. He has been pretty good this year for them, though. So I have to give him, like, he's had a little bit of a bounce back here, but his value kind of just comes down to like, is he shooting the three well? But I really like that move for the Celtics, man. That sucks. The Celtics. I was just saying that I would be pissed if I were a Celtics fan. I would be pissed if I were a Celtics fan and they were just like, we're gonna punt and like just try to save the tax and like do whatever. Like that would suck. But this actually makes them. Does that? I guess they'll just start Derek White. So they'll start Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown,
Josh
Jason
Richardson, and a
Tatum.
1st-round pick for Derek White.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so that makes probably this year's first too. Is my guess. I still like that trade for the Celtics. Derek White's very good.
Yep.
Spurs are selling, dude. They're this is the first time that they've ever done this, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is their 4th trade of the trade deadline. They've only ever made like one ever before that.
Yeah, and the rumors were that they could move DeJounte this offseason too.
For
I don't know. I'm just like if there's like maybe they just like fully blow it up and get like picks and young players for DeJounte. Like I like DeJounte, but if he's your best player, you're not going.
Devin Vassell would have some intrigue for me for a bunch of different teams.
But if they're rebuilding, he's on his rookie contract. They'll probably just keep him, right?
Yeah, they should keep him. But I'm just saying, like, if they're really, really, really gonna gut it, like, there's no reason why the Spurs. It's gonna take the Spurs having the same draft luck they had in getting David Robinson and Tim Duncan for them to ever be back. I don't see them as a free agent destination, especially with Pop on his way out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Pop's got to retire for them to like do a full blow up. But yeah, man, I still think that that's a really good move for Boston. I'm like, we just got James Harden, and I'm like,
you need to look at Joel Embiid's Twitter.
What did he tweet?
You got to put this on the screen. I don't know how to refer to the meme. Hold on.
Let me pull up Joel's Twitter first. By the way, follows me on Twitter. Not a big deal at all. You'll be able to see that when I open up his page. Hold on.
Flexing.
This is amazing. Oh, Rashawn Holmes, is he going to get traded? Would you prefer Rashawn Holmes over that package? I'm assuming.
Yes, I am.
No, he tweeted. I'll pull it up on the screen. Hold on. That's amazing. Wow. Holy shit. I don't know how to share my screen on here, so I guess we're not going to do that. Hold on. Share screen. Okay, share screen.
Oh, you can share screen. It's
Hold on. Where's the win? I guess this is the window. I don't fucking know how this works. All right, Chrome tab. There we go. We're figuring it out, folks. Joel Embiid has shared this meme on his page. R.I.P. Bozo. Showed up to my biggest hater's funeral today. Joel, you are a fucking king, dude. I should just keep Twitter up the whole fucking time. We could just react in real time. I wish that I should have. All right, so this is for next Slop Fest. I will have just a wave of tweets that we can react to in real time. Like, see, I'm getting new shit from these dudes. I set up, but like, okay, I'm literally trying to click on it on the screen. By the way, like our screen.
You should have TweetDeck pulled up. It updates by itself.
I know. I'm new to these things. I'm still figuring it out. Okay, so I'm old. People forget. Kyrie. Okay, so this is their starting lineup. That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty fucking good. And then this is the Sixers. Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Let's get it, dude. I'm with it, dude. I'm with it.
Oh, Boston is also sending Romeo Langford to San Antonio.
No, that's nothing. Romeo Langford sucks. So, no offense to the TikTok team.
Just for the Celtics fans at home.
That tweet is incredible. Joel is absolute king.
That's like his ultimate moment. Like he's been building up for this.
Since he got drafted. Since he watched Kobe Bryant 11 years ago and decided I'm going to become a basketball superstar, he was waiting for this moment.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Amazing. Okay, so
he hasn't had a troll moment like that. Like he's been trolling a little bit in like the press conferences and stuff and like media availability, but he hasn't had a troll moment like this in a minute.
Yeah. Definitely not. God damn.
Would the Celtics I just saw Nikias. Would the Celtics move Smart now?
I don't think so. I mean, Boston needs guards. Like Tatum and Brown, part of the reason why you keep Smart is because you can just essentially like cobble together, like between Derek White and Smart, you can cobble together like as connecting pieces and as like kind of like pseudo point guards. Like they're both more of combo guards than actual point guards, but like no one has a real point guard anyway. And like, they're both like good, smart. Well, smart isn't always smart, funny enough, but like they're good basketball. They're basically what I'm saying is I like that fit and just start Robert Williams and bring Horford off the bench if you don't move him in the next hour. Like that, to me, that sounds like a pretty good starting five. The East is so fucking deep, dude.
Here's what I'm thinking. I originally was thinking about Jeremy Grant. Like, oh, Pistons probably won't move him. The Nets now have 2 first-round picks. Does this Sixers Harden trade, does that put pressure on Chicago, Miami, like Boston, like all those other East teams have to like have some sort of counter for this? And I'm wondering if Jeremy Grant is that counter.
You're like, how can we get Jeremy Grant to a contender?
Patrick Williams seems like not right now. Now Chicago,
the Bulls,
you probably should put your chips in if you're going to do it.
The Bulls have really kind of botched this. Like, I mean, it's not to say that I ever thought that the Bulls could make a move that would like launch them into contender status. Like, I think that they're probably, any move they make is probably going to keep them like a tier below contender, or like maybe frisky like Atlanta was last year or something. But I don't feel particularly great if I'm Atlanta, or I'm sorry, if I'm Chicago and I'm like, great, so everyone else in the East got better and we didn't do anything at all.
Yeah. They got to do something. I'm not saying it's going to be Jeremy Grant, but looking across our players who we thought were going to be traded, is there a better player out there than Jeremy Grant for some team to go try to get?
Would the Heat be interested? Because the Heat were interested in Christian Wood, and they have Duncan Robinson's contract. They have a first-round pick now because they just opened up protections on theirs. But the thing is, they don't have good young players. Like, they're not going to trade you Tyler Hero. They're not going to trade you Bam Adebayo. Like, obviously. Like, they're not going to trade you, like, one of their core pieces. That's one of the things that, like, Miami has struggled with. Is, like, they're kind of locked into this roster unless someone is high on Duncan Robinson and their first-round pick next year.
Yeah. Brian Windhorst says one reason, I said this earlier, but it's got
what did DeJounte Murray tweet? Okay.
Wendy says one reason the Nets acquired Andre Drummond in the Sixers trade is because they're looking to flip Nick Claxton along with possibly the 2 first-round picks from Philly in the next 90 minutes before the deadline arrives.
Yeah. Ooh, DeJounte's pissed. He just tweeted the what the fuck gif, the Kevin Hart what the fuck gif.
I like when NBA players get done on the trade deadline. Like Terrence Ross last year when he tweeted, "I'm the captain now."
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Oh, my God. All right. Bill Simmons, January 24th, 2022. I got to read this now, live on the air. The Ben Simmons reports are becoming more and more ludicrous. Oh, Brooklyn is going to be leaping at the chance to trade for Harden this summer? Wait. Trade him for Harden this summer. I'm sorry, I misread that. Give me a break. You float these pie-in-the-sky stuff when you have no leverage. Philly has no leverage. He's legit damaged as a trade asset. I just want to say, he wasn't wrong, because they didn't trade him this summer. He did the Woj thing where he worded it away so that he's technically not wrong. They traded him before the deadline, which if you had told me a month ago, by the way, Ben Simmons does get traded before the deadline and you guys get back James Harden, I would be like, what? After the Nets beat the Bulls in that game and they fucking destroyed them, imagine being like, oh, by the way, Harden's not going to be on the Nets in a month and Ben Simmons will be a net.
It's just like, it's probably like someone had a dream of this, and it might have been Daryl Morey, who, like, we got the reports like early. Mark Stein and Jake Fisher were like, they were kind of early on this Harden thing. Yeah. I wonder if one of them woke up with a dream and then that dream became true. Like, that reporting came, like, how many weeks has this been? It's been at least 2 or 3 weeks since the Harden thing started.
It's really only been like 3 weeks, like real reports coming out.
Yeah. Because you could always make the connection from Harden to Morey.
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, it wasn't a real thing for the last 3 weeks.
Okay, so the Sixers
like raise? So Jake Fisher was the first guy to say it, and then he also backed off. Where does this leave? Where does Jake Fisher rank among your, like, he was kind of going up. Do you still believe in Jake Fisher for all the other stuff that he's been saying?
Okay, so here's the thing. I think Fisher acts a little bit more like Woj. I think that his... All right, let's because someone's going to have to make a blog for us, which is the charity navigator, but for slop purveyors. So basically we're just going to be like, this person gets 5 out of 5 slops because they are accurate. Like, I still don't think Jake Fisher was given false information. I think that Jake Fisher and Woj both act on behalf of general managers. And in order to get that information out there, they're going to be, and Woj is much more careful about how he words things than Jake is. Jake's going to learn because Jake's still young. He's a Philly guy. I give him a break a little bit, but like he will learn over the years that like you have to just word things like Woj was like, they have not been in communication. That wasn't a lie. They have not been in direct communication is what he was saying, which is like, so it was basically like from Marks being like, downplay this. We're going to try to get as much as we can. We're going to figure out it. Like they had to know once Harden played that game in Sacramento, it was over. Like Reed just said it. So is Brian Windhorst just completely, he jumps up from like the bottom of the barrel to like the top. As John Horn just said in the comments, the new overlord is Windy, the hog overlord, the king, the Greg Slopovich, as someone said on Twitter. He is the GOAT now, in my opinion. I do just want to say, Brian Windhorst, I will now love you forever. And you never have to apologize, by the way, Brian Windhorst. You never have to say you're sorry for being a champion. Just in case you never have to say you're sorry for getting a take wrong. But I just want to say, or a report, I just want to say Windhorst was wrong about the Lowry thing last year. He was like fairly confident that it was going to happen. And it didn't. And him and Mark Stein were the ones that were like, it's going to happen. And then it never happened. So this is a little bit of bounce back. It's redemption season for Brian Windhorst. And Windhorst, once again, comes from the clutch side. So like all the information that he was sending out there was probably a little bit more accurate because their goal was to get Ben off the team and they wouldn't have a problem sharing information like a general manager would, because the general manager has a lot to lose. Ben Simmons camp has nothing to lose except for like if they're right, then he gets to a better team. So, or a better team for him at least. Yeah. So
I'm wondering. My mind is on the Pistons now. My mind is really set on this Nick Claxton and 2 first deal or like something like that. I just keep looking at it. Celtics have three open roster spots and they're $3 million under the tax. Yeah, there's more deals coming. There has to be. Well, I'm like, what other deals? Like, who's available that like was rumored to be moved? Like Harrison Barnes sounds like he's not going to get traded now. Buddy Hield, they said he might not get traded. Nets are interested in Miles Turner per Evan Massey. All right, that's cap. Come on now, Evan Massey on the ratings of. So I could be totally wrong on this, but like 1.5 slop stars. He's a bottom tier slop purveyor. Like I would not put him in the top tier. He's like Woj and Shams are obviously in their own tier in terms of like legit Woj stuff. Is in his own tier. Shams is in like the copy press release and tweet it tier. He's like really fast. He's really fast typer. And then true. Mark Stein right below them. Yeah. And then Windy and Jake Fisher might be like tied like right there. Can we get Daryl to hop on Slopfest? Yeah, Daryl. He doesn't follow me, but I'll DM him and be like, "Hey, Daryl." What would you do if you're looking at the StreamYard right now and just somebody Joel Embiid and with a camera just hopped in? Should I DM him? Hey, bud, we're streaming. We're streaming right now. You want to hop on? Yeah, he'll be like, "I'm unfollowing this dude fucking immediately." Who are you? Oh my god, this is great. The Sixers. Okay, so just from like a pure basketball perspective. The Sixers have a guard who can dribble, pass, and shoot. And also, most importantly, someone who can make an entry pass to Joel Embiid without being double teamed at the perimeter. I'm sorry, without being left alone at the perimeter because he can't shoot. So, aren't you worried about his hamstring, though? No. Come on now. You think I'm worried about his hamstring? You think I'm worried about his fake fucking stone cold in the wheelchair gif? Wasn't that no, that was another wrestler. There was like a wrestler in a thing and he has his leg up and then he pulls the blanket off and he does it. Yeah. Like that's going to be James Harden. And I'm not saying he's going to be like old James Harden, but like coming to Philly, like I'm not worried about the hamstring stuff. Like, even if it takes the rest of this season for him to get healthy and the Sixers just compete in the playoffs and like maybe they get to the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever, and they like look like a good team and blah, blah, blah. Like, this move is not just about this season. It definitely helps a ton for this season. But like, I still am
like I'm pretty certain whatever we have left in the chamber will be given up to get like the problem is that we can't trade our picks right now because we have 21 out, 25 out, 27 out. We literally cannot trade any first round picks until the draft. So if we get to the draft and we can move 22, our first round pick this year, and maybe like Jaden Springer and Thibault or something.
Well, don't the Nets have your 22 first round pick now?
Oh shit. Fuck.
So, and that's
so they can, but they can trade 23 because they don't have 24 out. So right now they can't trade 23, but once the 2022 draft is over, they can trade 23. So that they will definitely use that and whatever swaps they have left to get off the Tobias Harris contract. Because I still am just like, I know Tobias has been playing better recently, but like he's not the guy that you want to put with Maxey, Harden, and Embiid. Maxey, Harden, and Embiid are all on the 76. The Philadelphia 76ers all have Tyrese Maxey,
I know you're not,
James Harden, and Joel Embiid.
You're not high on Thibault, but like
I'm not low on Thibault. I just think Sixers fans overrate the hell out of him.
Yeah, but it's pretty important that he's on the Sixers now with this team. Like I still think like I mean, you can never call Harden a defender. So like Thibault, just as he has been, is going to pick up whoever the best player is, pretty much at any size except for a center.
Except for Giannis too.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Is like, are we just gonna have to put Joel on Giannis if we ever play them in the playoffs?
Might as well. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Embiid's smart enough to just get out of the way when he knows he has no chance to like stop the freight train that is Giannis. So like,
he had one amazing game against Giannis like 2 years ago where he just like completely shut him down and let him shoot open threes.
Isn't that the strategy? Like, obviously the Bucks are very built for the playoffs, maybe even more when they get Brook Lopez back. But wouldn't the strategy be to let Giannis get his and cut off everything else?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably the case, but we also saw when Giannis can have a game where he can hit his free throws and he can go off for 50 points in a finals clinching game. Like I think that level of like letting Giannis.
Now the Sixers have a guy who can get 40 points, a guard who can get 40 points.
It's crazy. It's that's
a
phrase that's never been said since Allen Iverson.
That's the part. That's the part that changes. Is that maybe step number one, the free throw line is going to be sweating its ass off by the end of the game with Harden and Embiid. So
it could be like 7-hour-long games.
Literally, it'll be like baseball. It'll turn into baseball. So,
Morey's such a sicko.
You have Embiid who can get 40, Harden who can get 40. You kept Tyrese Maxey, who you hope can get 25. And then, like, obviously what I'm speaking is like the highest possible outcome of like something that could happen. But
I'm honestly the most concerned with the players that aren't those guys. Just like we still don't have like a ton of like great decision maker, role player, connecting like guys that will just make
do that for you.
I mean, he's just kind of old. He might be a fine like spot minute center in certain matchups, but like he's just kind of washed now. And I don't know, maybe he comes in and plays great. As someone reminded me, Liam, thank you for reminding me of that. We do have the Giannis stopper. B-ball Paul Reed is still on the roster. He played really, really well against him last time, although I don't know how he plays major minutes with Joel Embiid if he can't shoot, but I guess that would definitely help our rebounding. That's our biggest issue is that a Rockets fan tweeted at me and said, "Why isn't Eric Gordon a Sixer?" And I'm like, I would like to get Eric Gordon as our third guard, but also, who are we trading to get? Like, are you taking back Tobias Harris and getting no draft picks? No, like that's never like we're never going to be able to do. Like we're not going to be able to move. Like we don't have contracts to move. Our best contract to move right now is like Danny Green, like who makes like $9 million and is like still an important player for us. Like I just look at like there's not moves we can make between now and the deadline that will make us like have the perfect fit or whatever. But like we're still. Harden does get like 8 rebounds a game. That's true. Harden is a good rebounder. I'm not saying that he isn't, but it would be nice to have a power forward who can also do that and like sit in the dunker spot and like end possessions on defense. He is good. We have to make another trade. I don't think there has to be another. Like it feels like there's been. When was the last trade? The Josh Richardson one? Like
20 minutes ago.
So yeah,
I got something for you. What are the odds that Daryl Morey uses the word slop
in his press conference when they announce it?
What are
we
the
got
odds?
slop for the piggies today. Oh my god. The odds are okay, so the Sixers are still in on Schroeder. Okay. We need wings. Yeah, I agree, Shivy. We need wings more than we need guards, to be honest. Like, I mean, I don't feel great about
James
Shake
Harden is
Milton.
opting into his $47.3 million player option for next season.
Already?
Yep. James.
So they can just extend it for 4 more years.
I think that means that James Harden wanted to be a Sixer. If we didn't already know.
No, Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish sucks. I'm good. I'm chilling. Okay, so Shams Harden's opting in. He's all in. Furk, Danny, and Springer for Gordon. I don't think I would do that. I don't know. Maybe, but the
Torrey
Rockets,
Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith and a future 2nd-round pick.
He was
Pacers
just on the Suns.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of
Pacers
deal that I
get,
would have liked to be
Smith.
in on. Yeah, I mean that's fine for the Pacers. I think he's been fine, but like that, and I'm not like a big Torrey Craig guy, especially because we kept Thibault, and like you probably want to optimize shooting still around those two. But the Pacers are finalizing a trade to send Torrey Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith and a future 2nd-round pick. Okay,
that makes me mad. The Pistons didn't get in on that. That pisses me off.
You just got Bagley.
I don't care. Give me all the young guys who can jump high.
I know. You're literally just like Troy Weaver. You're just like your general manager. All right, we got who do we have coming up next? Blazer Banter is coming in. Oh yeah, now I get to make fun of him because I have a tweet of his from a few weeks ago. Let's see. Fuck.
All right,
I should have
Trill.
bookmarked this. All right, bud.
Appreciate you having me on, man.
I will talk to you. Prayers up for you. Hope Jeremy gets traded in the next hour. Best
of
luck,
I
bud.
might be in the comments. You might see me.
All right, sounds good. Peace,
Later.
bud. Man, damn. Okay, so Torrey Craig was great against for us against PG in the Western Conference Finals. I'm assuming you're a Suns fan. Okay, so we're going after Schroeder. Okay, there he is. We got all right. There we go. Yo, dude.
Dude, what up, man? How are you feeling right now?
I'm on top of the fucking world, baby. I'm fucking loving life over here, dude. James Harden is a Sixer. Ben Simmons is not a Sixer anymore. It's a beautiful day. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, but it's extra sunny today. So
But I'm happy for you. I'm very sad for me because this was our only hope of Ben getting to Portland. Maybe was Daryl holding the line and not doing this. But I think maybe why he didn't do it is because he was afraid of like tampering charges and losing picks. And he's like, fuck it, I'll just give the picks to Brooklyn.
right.
And we'll just get it done and have Embiid and actually make a run.
Yeah, that seems like it kind of is the plan. We're still like, God, I really don't want. Everyone wants us to but they're saying that Dennis Schroeder might be headed here. I'm like, you shouldn't add more bad vibes to a locker room. Like, you just cleanse some bad vibes. James Harden has questionable vibes coming in. I would just be
I would say Joel sometimes.
Yeah,
his vibes teeter at times.
Yeah, exactly. He's not always 100% the good mood guy, for sure. Dennis Schroeder, like I always say, it's like you have a certain level of like James Harden. Okay, his talent's enough that you can look past the moodiness. Bradley Beal, like, is where you start to get like, I don't know. And then like when you get down to like Dennis Schroeder, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need this guy who just bounces from team to team because everyone hates him.
Oh yeah. Man, dude, also like it's very clear that he's a bad vibes guy. The Celtics just traded for another guard.
Yeah, exactly, to replace him.
Yeah, and so I would stay away from Shooter. Also, dude, he totally like if you wanted to think that Dennis Schroeder is like a serious person to like build your basketball team around, the Lakers offered him like $80 million to stay there. And he also wouldn't get the shot, I think, for a while, wasn't it? Like he couldn't play in one of the games because he tested positive because he wasn't vaccinated. And so it was just like, I mean, like he fumbled the bag majorly. And it's like, if you're not going to be serious with LeBron James, how are you going to be serious with anybody else?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I also think about it like you literally might get the Lakers are interested in trading for Schroeder again right now, which makes no fucking sense to me. Like, you just got rid of this guy. He was not good vibes. You want to bring him back in. That the Lakers are in itself, like, can they make a move is the question.
The spaces last night were choice.
Oh my God. They have been for like 3 weeks. They're beautiful. Every time that I go to a Lakers spaces, I'm always like, it's going to be the same thing. And they even say in the spaces, it's going to be the same thing. But every time it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
The perfect thing I mean, obviously, like Blazers down bad right now. Like we're trading the whole team, but we still have Dame, and Dame seems to be in for what's going on. But like last night, the Lakers spaces were just so beautiful, being like, but maybe we can get Dame, right? Like after they just lost to like Dame's scrub teammates last night, like and
for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna Dame is totally down with that.
You know, after some soul searching, we turned down Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, and every pick that the Sixers have for the next 10 years for Damian Lillard. We were really waiting out for the Rush trade.
Yeah, exactly. Right. like, oh yeah. We went through this whole summer, and they like also like one of the, I feel like under discussed aspects of this Blazers situation is Damian Lillard won a power struggle against Neil Olshey.
Yeah, he did. He won.
It was those two guys. It was one of those guys was going to stay. And Dame won. Workers hero, Damian Lillard. Super communist, Damian Lillard.
Oh my God. Is he reading the manifesto?
Comrade Dame, dude. Just doing it for the workers, sticking it to management. You know.
Well, look, Joe Cronin's doing his best. And I just want to say, I couldn't find the tweet from you, but there were a few tweets from you and Sager and a few of the Blazers people that were clowning the Sixers a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have them. And you were like, oh, maybe Joel will want to come to Portland. And I was like, let's go.
Dude,
okay.
Dude, last night we did it all with LeBron, too. It was like, because after we won, it was like, dude, LeBron, like, hey, bro, like, cap space, we have it.
Look, all I'm saying is Portland's really nice in the summer.
The Blazers are for sale soon. LeBron wants to own a team one day. And
oh, stay woke. They are opening up that's Joe Cronin's big thing. Everyone's trashing Joe Cronin right now for being like, okay, so you just, by the way, I know so I want to get your perspective on like the Blazers moves, because I didn't know if anything. Funny enough, I was like, if nothing happens, at least I'll have people on that can talk about moves that have already happened. Mm-hmm. But like, how do you feel mostly about the CJ move? Because like, I think that everyone pretty much universally hated the Norm Powell, Robert Covington deal, because it was just like, it didn't make any fucking sense to anyone. But what about the CJ deal? Because like, I'm in the camp of like, CJ is a good, useful player, and they talk about him, a lot of Blazers fans and a lot of media in general, and a lot of like NBA teams even like just kind of talk about him like he's not very good. And like,
what so insane.
Yeah, like he's like, and like, I know that he has his flaws as a player, but like I've always said, like, if you were to just like take CJ McCollum and put him on last year's version of the Sixers, or if you put him on the Lakers or the Heat or what, like, he's a great third guy to have. Like, perimeter shot creator, really good tough shot maker. The defense leaves a lot to be desired. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's a decent passer. Like what do you make of the whole situation? And like, what did you feel about the return on that one?
I mean, it on an emotional level, it just sucked, right? Like CJ was just like, him and Dame were the dynamic duo. Like when Aldridge left, everyone left this team for dead. They were like over under was like 26 and a half.
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs. They beat the Clippers, who obviously were injured, but like they won a series. And then it was just like, and then
Well, I just want to say, like the Clippers had one of the 15 greatest coaches of all time, so don't forget that.
Yeah, that's right. They upset one of the 15 greatest coaches of all time in the playoffs, and it was kind of grimy. Like Austin Rivers had like this really like heroic like blood from the face performance in the final game before they got eliminated and shit. But like the Blazers won that series, and then they beat Denver in Game 7, and CJ like played the greatest game of his life, bro. Like,
it was literally amazing. LeBron James was tweeting about it.
Dude, he had a chase down block, which like CJ never does that. And it's just like, he was just like, it was amazing. He's like, I'm going to take Torrey Craig and I'm just going to get a bucket over him. And he did it. And it's like, and he got them to the Western Conference Finals. And it's like, it sucks, but like, he's a great guy to have. And
for sure,
especially with you have Zion on his rookie contract, like that's perfect for the current situation he's in. And maybe once his contract is over, I think he's still going to have like a really good career after this contract, like
for sure,
because he can shoot. I mean, and his ball handling is like, it's not Kyrie, but it's like, it's as close as you can get to Kyrie in terms of like the way he can mix guys up in an ISO situation. Like he's one of the best in the league. So, I mean, I think he's going to tear it up.
I mean, he's probably the best player in the league that's never made an all-star team, as people are pointing out. Like, is there anyone like, even like, I would say Drew, but Drew made an all-star team when he was here.
That's right.
And then like if you went down like the top 40 players in the NBA, you would probably, and Mike Conley made one last year. Like I would probably still even put CJ in the same tier as him right now. Like Conley's like slipped up a little bit.
I mean, I think Ingram was a little bit of a usage merchant. Like I think CJ is actually, I mean, I think as an offensive player, CJ is way better than Brandon Ingram to me.
Wow.
I think he can be like the guy that you like. He can like I think CJ can create some looks for him too. Like
for sure.
Like I just think that, and his shooting is so good. Like obviously Ingram has some skills that he doesn't have, but like I feel like when the chips are down, like I'm giving CJ the ball.
Yeah, Jamal Murray, someone just pointed out. That's also a good one for best player.
Wow.
Yeah,
he hasn't made the All-Star team.
Yeah, well, because he's kind of a lot of these bucket getter guys that are like main, like not necessarily main perimeter options. They generally are like the number 2 on their team. I feel like because a lot of their value resides on like their shooting is like they'll go through, like Murray will go through streaks where I'm like, is this guy like a top 15 player? Like, holy shit. And then he'll have 2 months where you're like, he's probably just like a sub all-star. So, I mean, I like the trade a lot for the Pelicans. I mean, Josh Hart's a Philly guy, so he's always going to be overrated by Sixers fans, but he's a very good role player and he'll do some things. What do you think? So like, I can't believe James Harden's a Sixer. Everyone just keeps saying it in the comments, and I'm like,
I mean, you guys have to keep saying, dude, this is like, you guys, this is perfect for you. I mean, I'm very happy for you guys. Like,
well, thank you, but I mean, I have to admit that I was wrong and Daryl Morey was right, which makes me very sad.
I was wrong too. I hate
also,
that he's right.
I know. Did you hear the report that came out that was basically like, the league doesn't want Morey to win. Like, they don't want him, like, part of the, like, not that would ever make or break a deal. Mike Giotto, Josh Hart needs to be a Sixer, of course. Yeah, he's the Nova guy. Big Nova guy. But it's not that like James Harden the James Harden Ben Simmons trade wasn't going to happen because of this, but like there's definitely a sentiment around the league of like he can't keep getting away with this. Like,
yeah. I mean, if he had gotten him, listen, like, I mean, I would have loved to have been a party to that end where they could get James for nothing.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Like I would have been down to help y'all out, but like, again, it's like, dude, like, what are you doing at this point? It's like, you guys got the dude right now,
right?
The best big in the league at the moment. Like, I mean, no offense to Jokic, but like Embiid is just playing better right now. And like, and you just got to ride that hot streak, man. And I just saw that James opted in. Like, it's glorious for you guys right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. First time in his career that James Harden is not going to be, well, that's not true, Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant, they didn't really get to play together. So it still kind of is true that he's like not the best player on his team for the first time since Kevin Durant the first time, really. Like it has now got to the point, like the one thing that I do have concerns with is just like how do we make things work around? Is that if that's net CJ in the comments, I want you to know that you are going to prison, dude. You told all these Nets fans told me I was fucking lying when I was sending things that I was hearing. I don't tweet these things. I rarely ever say them on the podcast unless I'm certain that they're going to happen. But I've been DMing them for 2 weeks, basically telling them that this was a possibility. And I have not even been able to check to drink their tears in the chats right now. But I am very excited for after this. But kind of going back to what I'm worried about with the Harden thing is is he 100% healthy? Is he going to buy into a role that is he's not like he did last year? He was basically, I called him earlier this year. I called him Strip Club Ricky Rubio, which was he was the absolute peak version of point Harden, which is what the Sixers really need. Is literally just a guy who could dribble, shoot, and pass. We have not had someone. We've been talking about Maxey he's amazing, and don't get me wrong, Tyrese Maxey, we love him, folks. But ultimately,
you're talking about one of the greatest pick and roll players in the history of basketball.
Yeah, exactly. One of the greatest pick and roll players in the history of basketball, the top ISO scorer in the league this year, still somehow.
That doesn't seem real to me.
No.
Because I've watched so many of their games, and it's just especially my favorite games, and I'm gonna be sad to see these go because one of my degenerate favorite bets was for 2 weeks there to bet on Kyrie's overs because the Ricky Rubio thing was coming out in real time where Harden was just you fucking score all the fucking points, you dickhead. He's just you do it. And it was just oh my God, it was so good. I'm sad I can't see that anymore because that was high comedy.
Yeah, I will say, I think that we are the only thing that we're missing out on is just the most disastrous vibes for a super team ever now. Imagine if they got to the playoffs and Kyrie still couldn't have played. And then they had Harden fucking moping every game. Durant, who knows if he can stay healthy. Oh, and by the way, it's not Nets CJ, it's Nuggets CJ. So I apologize.
Okay.
He was saying that we were lying about Jokic and Embiid. I think Jokic and Embiid are on the same level.
I'm actually kind of hating on the Nuggets because they suck this year. Yeah. And the Blazers suck too. So, but it's I feel like the Nuggets are kind of
hey, at least you guys are leaning into it. That's the one part of these moves that I like for you guys is even though they still somehow won last night against the Lakers.
Honestly, though, dude, that's they're not going to lose 27 in a row. And losing to Orlando,
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, losing to Orlando and beating the Lakers is the ideal way to tank if you're the Blazers. That was just absolute perfection last night. So
yeah,
I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad about the W.
It also is. It's also
ahead now.
It's when you are tanking, or at least somewhat tanking, you guys kind of are right now. Those wins feel so much more fun when you get them because you know that they don't really have a greater impact on you're still going to get a high draft pick. You're still going to have the opportunity to either flip that pick and get back someone really good, or you can just draft your own guys and have kind of Dame be the lead the Blazers into the next chapter with Simmons and whoever you get in the pick. I think that the idea of what the Blazers are doing isn't horrible. It's just it feels like you guys waited to make your move. And it's obviously because the GM change does not help, but it just feels like you guys waited to do all of your moves a little too late to the point where you're shit, we just gave up Gary Trent and 3 first-round picks to get Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and Larry Nance. And then we also traded CJ McCollum and we got back 1 first-round pick.
Yeah. And it's bad. And I get, the one caveat I will say with 45 minutes to go is maybe they can turn Bledsoe's contract or Joe Ingles' contract into something desirable that they can,
or Nurk into something good because Nurk is good.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that surprised me, I thought maybe Toronto would be a team that Nurk would go to. And I saw that there were rumors last night from a Hockey Insider, I guess, was on. So, dude, the Slop has been coming out from so many different places, bro. Apparently, one of my friends who's half Canadian told me that he broke the Montreal Canadiens coach firing before it happened, and then he started reporting on Nurkic Winslow talks with the Raptors. But I don't know if those fell through now because I think the Raptors already made their trade. They gave up a pick and shit.
Why? That was weird. Why
did they give up a pick?
Yeah, because I think, it sounded like Dragic wanted to not be there. He was already they sent him home. So you weren't going to get anything positive value-wise back for him. It is a protected pick, but also I'm I like Thad Young, but you gave up a first-round pick to get Thad Young
who's when you have
you have a young core. and like they're not super young, but like they're all like in their primes or like young enough. Like Scotty Barnes is a rookie, obviously he's like 19. And then on top of that, you're really, really good at drafting. And like, I know that they can get guys in the second round. Like they got undrafted Fred VanVleet, like Siakam at the end of the first, all that stuff. But like, if you have the ability to get another mid first round pick, just fucking do that. I don't know. That was a very strange move to me. Yeah. There's been no Slop for 30 minutes.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Is there something else that's about to happen? Do you guys think you guys could maybe get Jeremy Grant?
That's the hope. The hope is that first of all, fuck Detroit's asking price. 2 firsts for Jeremy Grant. Absolutely not. Like,
you guys gave up 2 firsts for Robert Covington not that long ago. So that kind of fucked up the market though.
I know, but it's a different guy now. That's the one thing I would say. And it's like he's an interim, but he's been a cap expert and he's been with the team through like several general managers. Right. So like, he does. I'm going to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but I also like why were we not in that Raptors shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how I was feeling when I saw that trade.
Well, when you guys made that trade, literally my friends who are Bulls fans, Celtics fans, Sixers fans, we were all like, wait, we could have fucking Norm Powell and Robert Covington for that? Like, why weren't we in on this?
Yeah, just to get out of the tax, I guess, like that. But it's like, it's so weird because they've opened up so much space lately. It's like, I guess they needed to do well, I don't know what the fuck it means. Like, I don't understand the games between the deal zone.
I was going to say, are you guys going to be the OKC Thunder this summer where you're just like collecting assets to make bigger moves or whatever, because you're going to be one of the few teams that have cap space?
Well, I think that's what we're trying to do right now. I think one idea I kicked around, which like you guys want to keep Danny Green, right?
I mean, at this point we got 40 minutes until the deadline and
why not?
And also like he's a good fit, and like I'm a little bit concerned about Danny because there are games where you're like, oh, he's washed. And then there are other games where you're like, Danny just hit 3 threes and like plays good help defense still and like does positive like winning things that like help you in a playoff series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who you guys would want, but like they have the trade exception, and it's like if the Philly needs to get out of the tax.
Well, that's the thing, is that now I think that they got Harden. They would go further into the tax, if anything.
Okay.
I think that their goal is just going to be like, so they can trade their 2023 first. So this offseason, I think they're probably going to trade Tobias the 2023 first and whatever else but Maxey. So if it's Thibault or if it's whatever, to try to like upgrade the power forward position to be a little bit better of a fit around Joel and whatever, and clear up some mid-level exception money or some whatever it is to make some moves to kind of, because like I know Tobias for a fact is not a Morey guy. Like did not sign him. He would have never signed him to that contract. And like, a lot of teams wouldn't. And Tobias is not a bad player, but like he's just not the ideal fit with the 3 guys that we want to build around.
I have a little introduction about the Tobias and the deal. I remember like I was going to my honeymoon and I was on the internet when that deal broke.
Yeah.
And ESPN was doing these things about like these like personal essays from players about like why I signed. And it was like they were doing, but on ESPN. They were doing Players Tribune style like essays on ESPN, and it was like Tobias Harris explains why he signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? He signed
180 million reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Like, big mystery here. Like why he stayed. Like,
why did the 51st best player in the NBA sign a fucking max contract? Like, yeah, duh. But also, one of the things
casual friends even texted me about that. They're like, "You're Tobias Harris."
Yeah, like
you signed for that much money.
Yeah, exactly. So my like big brain take on that whole thing was like Tobias has been probably traded for any player that isn't like totally terrible. Tobias has been traded more than any player in the NBA. It seems like I think he's been traded like 4 times, and so he's just constantly moved. And my thing was like his dad was like, because his dad's his agent, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but his dad is literally like. His dad represents him, his brothers, his sister, I think was a professional athlete, and Kelly Oubre, who actually got kind of paid by the Hornets. So yeah, so he's actually, I mean, clearly he's a good fucking agent. I mean, right? So Tobias, when he signed, I think him and his dad were like, look, we got to figure out a deal where we can't get traded. Like, we got to figure out a deal that makes us untradeable. Like, let's just ask for all the money in the world so we'll never get traded again.
We're just tired of moving.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, this is just too fucking exhausting. But my God, I can't. Okay, Montreal to Charlotte. I'm assuming that's Montrezl Harrell. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless the city of Montreal. Okay, so
yeah, we're waiting to see what that is going. Oh no, there was another one, another slot trade.
Plumlee? Did
you see the Pacers sending Torrey Craig to the
Yes,
Suns?
I did see that.
Jalen Smith. Okay, yeah, that
Which
is
funny.
That is sloppy as hell.
That's about the lowest on the slop totem pole that you can get because it's literally, first off, Jalen Smith, hilarious. How did the Warriors and the Suns, the two like best teams in the NBA right now, record wise, or at least close to it? How did they make the worst picks ever in the 2022 draft? And now they're still like this. Like, imagine if they had picked anyone else at those positions.
I know it is. They would be a lot better than they are, which would be scary for everybody else. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, back to the CJ thing. I mean, at this point, unfortunately, the way he was valued around the league, I don't think getting a lottery pick out of him was the best. Unfortunately, the best case scenario at this point. I think.
Oh yeah,
because of what you said is that we waited too long. Because like when CJ was making $20 million a year, you know, the GM was balking at trading for him for Paul George. Like, they didn't even put him on the table. It was like Mo Harden.
I mean,
and
it's easy to say in hindsight, but James Harden is the first player that was ever rumored to have put Portland on his list that I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, more strip clubs per capita than any city in America, in any city in the world. We forget, although they're definitely not at all like Houston or Atlanta strip clubs.
No, they're not popping like that. I'm sure.
They're different. They're playing like some of there's definitely some sets happening to Nickelback.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, we don't have the most crazy strip club scene here. I hope that he maybe fucking Michael Rubin knows of some, you know, fucking rich Illuminati thing that I don't know about. They might have some connections at some club here that he'll be loving. All right, so I'm okay. Vernon Carey, I'm assuming. Okay, Miles Plumlee's contract. I'm assuming, wasn't he on the? Did I say Miles Plumlee or was it Mason Plumlee?
Oh wow,
who knows?
Charlotte is what? Okay, so he's not going. Okay, so I thought he was going to Toronto.
No, he's going to Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay.
I said Montreal because I was
Canadian.
Because someone said Montreal to Charlotte. The entire city's moving to Charlotte. It's a great trade for Charlotte. Montreal's a great city.
Right. Okay. I've never been, but I'd love to
go. Okay, so Montrezl Harrell for Ish Smith and Vernon Carey.
Okay.
Wait, Montrezl only makes like $9 million. I
feel like PJ's got to be on the move, doesn't he?
Aaron Holiday to Phoenix.
Okay, that's odd. I don't know.
Huh.
Like, is he that good? Is he better than Cameron Payne?
Aaron Holiday.
He's Aaron Holiday. I mean, do we have takes?
Is he just going to be? Yeah, right. Is he just going to be like every other Holiday brother, where like in his mid-20s he's just like really good? Like, I don't know. Maybe he'll figure it out. Like Justin Holiday wasn't good for years, and now he's like in his 30s and he's good. And like Drew obviously has gotten better his entire career. All right, let's see. We got new comments. Ish Smith on the move. Actually, it's a great point. Someone said in there, I totally agree with this. The Warriors are getting off the fucking hook for not making any moves at this deadline. Maybe Draymond's injury is more serious than we know. But if it isn't, then they're fucking dropping the ball right now, not trying to make any fucking moves.
I know, man. I mean, well, that was one of the other like pipe dreams for, you know, the Blazers is like the backup plan to Ben Simmons was like, how much do the Warriors really like Draymond Green moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that. Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
How much do the Warriors like Draymond Green beyond this year?
If he is just injured and old, then probably maybe they aren't completely married to the idea. But if he is, I mean, his defense.
But if he's still
it's
amazing.
He's like still like the best defender in the NBA somehow because he's just so smart. Yeah, not trading Wiseman is really, but also like, what are you going to get back for Wiseman is really the question. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they seem to be the only ones that are as high on Wiseman as they are. Like, nobody else is that high. Like, he's kind of like the new Bagley.
Yes, I actually tweeted and said, as a joke, I was like, the Warriors hiding Wiseman from the world and just hoping that people forget that he's really bad is not the worst move in the worst move in the world. Like, it's kind of a smart move. And then someone tweeted at him and said, isn't this how he got drafted at number 2 overall too? Like, he played 3 games in college. Yeah.
I mean, I was at the Hoop Summit practice in Portland, the Nike Hoop Summit practice when he was there. And I will say, like, he was stunning in person. Like, he's doing these windmill dunks, and he just has this gliding athleticism that you're just like, oh my God. But like, then he didn't play in college basically after that.
Right.
But like, I think that practice, I maybe lived in the heart, and obviously, of course, the dinner, the famous, the famous dinner,
the Mandarin dinner. Yeah. I speak Chinese, so you have to draft me over LaMelo Ball. Okay, so he might end up being a generational player, but like, from an off the court standpoint, I can learn multiple languages, which like you can't replace that in a locker room.
No, especially when, your team gets involved in, as these NBA teams do, get embroiled in international, incidents, if you will.
Yeah, Daryl Morey, would be nice to have someone like James Wiseman on the team just to, kind of help him out in these situations. But
yeah, I know. God.
Oh my God.
Well, this has been a crazy deadline, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course,
dude. I hope the Blazers make another move here. It would be nice to get Jeremy Grant for not 2 first-round picks.
Right, but at that point, like, why make your team better this summer and just wait until the summer? Like, he's got
No, you're right.
Yeah, just wait. Like, if he's not going to get traded, it doesn't seem like he is. Like, they really seem to be holding out for that. I just want to, if there are any Rockets fans in here, I was right. You guys are going to be the new team that just doesn't make any moves at the deadline because you value your guys too much. And I'm pretty sure Eric Gordon and Christian Wood aren't about to get traded right now. So
I can't believe they're not getting traded.
That's so dumb.
Why?
I'm sorry. It's dumb. Like, you have young players who you can give minutes to, and you could just lean into the tank, and you're just like, nope, we're going to keep Christian Wood and Eric. Like, I hope that Eric Gordon,
unleash Şengün on the world, dude.
I love me some Şengün. Yeah, Daniel Tice too, another guy.
Oh God. What? Well, we got 30 minutes still, so maybe the Slop. Also, we got to remember, as I'll remember from when I covered LeBron Wire when they did the Cavs the Kobe Altman Insano special. There could still be some deals at like 12:30, 12:45. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say that
because the volume might just be like Woj and Windy and Haynes can't all get to it all.
Right. It's a good point. Yeah. They're just being like, there's just too much fucking information being sent to the league office. I think that's why I made it until 3:30 in case some deals go down after the deadline. But I don't know. We'll see. I think everyone was just waiting for that Harden Ben deal. And then once it happened, I felt like there was going to be more trades, but I guess teams were just sick of fucking waiting. So they just made their moves.
Hell yeah. I love it. I hope we get a little bit more. So, dude, man, thank you for having me, Trill.
All right, bud. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll talk later, man.
Sounds good. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks. All right. So Sixers aren't trying to trade Tobias. Tice is a buyout candidate? He has 4 years left on his deal. What? Daniel Tice just signed a 4-year deal for $32 million. What is Jake Fisher talking about? Is that right? Hold on. I'm literally Googling Daniel Tice contract, which is a sick thing that, hey, he just signed a 4-year, $35 million contract. Maybe he's confusing him with someone else. Lake. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Okay, so do we have, there's no other Slop going on? I guess you guys could just sit here while I wait for Slop to come in. I'm assuming Cliff is not coming. Hold on, let's see. Got multiple. All right, what the fuck's going on? All right, let me DM Cliff and see if he'll come on. If he isn't, then I'll just be. Oh, okay, gotcha. Might have seen a wrong report. Nah, it's all good, Tim. Shit happens. Jake Fisher's finished after today. That might have been wrong. Why is Tobias not being moved? Why don't you Google how much money Tobias Harris makes? The Sixers just traded both of their picks. They can't trade a pick for the next decade. There's nothing to move Tobias Harris his contract off the books. It's just not going to happen this year. If you did the Harden trade, it was going to make it harder to move Tobias. Like, it was probably an either or thing where they dumped Tobias to OKC and then they tried to figure it out later. Also, like, as much as Tobias could drive me crazy, like, his life will probably be a little bit easier offensively with James Harden and Joel Embiid than it will be with whatever the Sixers have had the past few years. So the hope is that he could just make his open threes, take his open threes, be not as quite as much of a disaster on defense, and be like less responsibility. Maybe he could just be like a bucket getter guy. He can just be like the run killer, as Doc says. I mean, he's been playing better recently. I'll give him a little bit of a break. Man, we got Harden and we didn't even give up Maxey. We got James Harden and we still have Tyrese Maxey on the team. By the way, if the Sixers, let's say like, all right, well, not Paul George, because Paul George wouldn't want to come here because of Doc Rivers, but we should just get rid of him if Paul George wanted to come here. But like, we could get to the offseason and be like, move Tobias Harris's contract somehow and attach Maxey, even though the Clippers wouldn't want him back. Okay, so this is a bad guy. I picked a bad guy to pick. But you can move Thibault, Springer, Maxey, whatever. But let's just say like star wing once out this summer to fit with Joel and Harden. Just saying, we have the contract and we have at least the good young players still. The rest of the team would fucking suck, but we can figure that out. Why aren't we trading Danny Green? We don't have shooters, dude. Who is going to shoot? We just traded Seth Curry, Jaylen Brown. Ooh, that would be nice. But I don't think that the Celtics would trade Jaylen Brown for Maxey. They're trying to move Cork and Green right now. Okay, so Cork makes $5 million, Green makes like $9 million. So you could get like a $14 million player. You could probably add one more person and get Eric Gordon. But like, we don't have a first round pick. They want a first round pick for Eric Gordon. Isaiah Joe might need to play more minutes, but I'm going to be honest, guys. You know I love Isaiah Joe. I've been a big Isaiah Joe guy for a while. Isaiah Joe is just probably not a rotation level NBA player right now unless he's hitting 40% of his threes or 38% of his threes. Like, his defense is like, he's going to get absolutely bodied on ball by bigger guys. And like, he needs to get better on that end. Ferk equals 1 first round pick. KCP would be nice. I don't think that the Wizards are going to do that unless we can move someone. But like, this is a perfect example of like why we should. And like, I like Springer, and like, I think rumors says Jaden Springer is the new backup point guard. LOL. I like Springer a lot. I think that he's a lot of potential, but also like, we could easily move Springer for Shake's not a shooter, guys. Well, you could move Shake, but like, does Shake have a ton of value? Shake's not a shooter anymore. So like, we need to figure out shooting. We need to figure out, well, Harden definitely helps the rebounding a little bit. And I think we could use maybe one. We just need a wing, really. Rocco for Ferk in 2 seconds. Unfortunately, if I bet you the Clippers would think about doing that if they didn't already have Firkin signed for 2 more years, because who knows, like, if any team. Where's Marty? I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to see if Clip will hop on and talk to me. If not, Marty is, I don't know. I'll DM him. But Justin Holiday can be traded, but he just got traded to the Kings. So the Kings are probably not going to want to trade Justin Holiday. Yeah, I mean, he's good. Like, I wouldn't try. Like, and they need shooting too. The Sixers are now back in a position where our best shooters, because the thing is, Harden doesn't shoot off the catch. Terrence Ross to the Lakers, maybe. Dinwiddie to Dallas. Oh, did Dinwiddie get moved to Dallas? Yeah. To the Mavericks. For who? Tim Hardaway Jr. or contracts-wise? How does that work? Dwight Powell? Huh. We should try to get KCP, man. We should really try. I mean, honestly, Kristaps Porzingis? No. No way. They did not trade Porzingis. Holy shit. Yeah, correct. Sacramento does not have a mandate. Wow. Porzingis for Dinwiddie. Holy shit. Okay. Mark Stein just cucked the whole league. Did he tweet about it first? Well, he's plugged into the Mavericks, so I believe any report that he has about the Mavericks. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so to recap, the slow deadline, the slow deadline, Cliff is not hopping on, by the way. This is just going to be me for the rest of the way, I guess. The slow deadline has now moved CJ McCollum, James Harden, Ben Simmons, Kristaps Porzingis, Domantas Sabonis, Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton. Like, this was the craziest deadline of, no, they're not trading Brunson. Absolutely not. No, they're going to try to sign him this offseason. That's why they are trading Porzingis. What's really funny is that before the season, Cuban was like, we're not trading Porzingis. He's a superstar. They're just never going to be able to. I love you guys too. You guys are great. We are never going to be able to trade Porzingis because he's a superstar and you can't, but he's just never going to be able to stay healthy. Like, he's a better player than Spencer Dinwiddie when he is healthy. He's just not ever healthy. So it doesn't really, Dallas does it for cap relief. Dallas needs to bring back Jalen Brunson this offseason, and they need to bring back Dorian Finney-Smith. It's a package including Dinwiddie. Okay. That's what Woj is saying. Dallas is getting off that contract for nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's a smart move, dude. Like, the thing is that, like, when Porzingis has been awesome this year, and, like, he was good in the bubble, but, like, are you just never... Dinwiddie and Bertans... Oh, so that's why. They get off a bad contract. Bertans is like one of the worst players in the NBA, and he makes like $18 million a year. But next to Luka and Brunson, and defensively, that's going to be really bad. But like next to Dinwiddie and never mind. What are you saying? Never mind to? If Dallas is not getting Kuzma, they said everyone is on the table except for Beal and Kuzma, guys. They did not say, Daryl, get Thomas Bryant. Yes, let's go. Yeah, Bertans is probably the worst contract in the NBA. Like, I feel like Chris Vernon right now, but he talks about it all the time, and he was basically like, you have guys like Tobias and, well, Russ is pretty bad on his contract, and John Wall's not even fucking playing, so obviously that's a bad contract. But you have guys like that, and they, at least when they play, can have effective games and moments and stretches and whatever. And like Tobias is way overpaid. He makes 15 to 20 million more than he should every year. It's crazy, right? But he's also just like, Davis Bertans is not an NBA level player. Like, he sucks. He's had one good season in his entire career, and he makes a lot of money. So yeah, I agree. I think we should try to get KCP too. I don't know if they're going to trade KCP but like, if you get rid of Danny Green, I would probably prefer KCP over Danny Green at this point, just because of the age and he's locked up on a contract. KCP would be really good next to Harden and Maxey. Yeah. Although KCP is kind of small for a 3. He is. He plays shooting guard sometimes too. Yeah. I would like KCP though. I mean, he was just like the 3rd best player on a title team or 4th best player on a title team like 2 years ago. Yeah, we do need rebounding. Harden's definitely an upgrade in terms of rebounding, especially over Seth Curry. So basically, the Sixers just took the Seth Curry spot because Ben Simmons wasn't even playing this year and upgraded it to James Harden. I feel like I keep forgetting that. Are the Sixers trying to make other moves? I know everyone keeps saying that they're interested in Schroeder. Oh, cool. Sweet. All right. I'm going to reach out to Emart's going to hop on. Hold on. He wants to hop on for these last 30 minutes through the deadline. I thought the trade wasn't even going to happen until, hold on. Yeah, it's Emart. Hold on. All right, Emart, I just sent you the Emart goated, agreed. Krell said Schroeder was not good info. Okay, well, that sucks. For him. I don't really care. Dennis Schroeder sucks. I don't want him. But yeah, that's the thing, is that Drummond doesn't really help team rebounding. Drummond is like a bucket getter, but for rebounds. He doesn't affect a team's rebounding all that greatly. He just gets a lot of them. So really the most important thing, and Daryl Morey knows this, is wings and guards who can rebound. And James Harden's very good at that. But it would be nice to have like Eric Gordon or like Josh Hart or like someone that can just like be another stout rebounder guard / wing that like could help you in that regard. Okay. All right. Chill out with the Jake Fisher shit, dude. Don't even joke about that. That's not cool. Yo. All right. We got E-Mart.
Yo, what's up? Can you,
what's up, brother?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
James Harden is a Philadelphia 76er.
We did it, man.
We are fucking, I can't believe we're here. I cannot believe that after all this time, Morey gets his guy. And we got rid of Ben Simmons. And yes, losing Seth Curry and 2 first-round picks hurts, but who fucking cares? So how you feeling?
Oh, I'm thrilled. I was in like a work meeting, of course, and then like my phone is just going blah blah blah. So I'm like, that has to be it. And then it's, you know, like the Discord exploding, Twitter's all over the place.
I didn't even get to go in the Discord, by the way. If you're not in the You Know Ball Discord,
it's a great place.
It's a great place. You might end up on a list somewhere, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Oh my God, Allen Robinson, crunch time. If I'm the Nets, I'm going to play Ben at the 5 in crunch time. Yeah, good luck with that.
It's funny. My season ticket partner, he was like, do we sell the March 10th tickets? And I looked, I'm like, oh, we didn't. So we're gonna be there. I'm very excited.
Oh, nice. I was like, well. If you kept them, and I was going to say, I was like, you could sell them for a lot of fucking money, I bet. But definitely hold on to those.
We'll have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might be a good business opportunity, but he ain't fucking playing, dude. Ben is not playing in Philly. Come on. He's going to get the Philly flu a few days before, and we'll start to hear it pop up like they did with Harden, where I feel like the Nets like had a lot of the leverage until when we found out yesterday at noon they already ruled Harden out for the game tonight.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, this shit is happening. Like that was like, yeah, this is it.
What a crescendo this last like week basically. It was
crazy.
Like loss, not playing, and you know, slowly moving towards I think the trade itself was a pretty decent trade, all things considered. I know like there's kind of this overreaction of like, well, where's our backup center? I think Bassey's going to step into that role just fine.
He's good, man. Yeah. Like I think he'll be, honestly. Okay. So I had heard rumors from random people. I can't even remember who, but Daryl wanted to trade Tony Bradley last year because it would have forced Doc to play Paul Reed more.
Oh yeah.
And I think his like as good as Drummond has been for us and had some great games for us this year, Harden is definitely going to need a pick and pop or a pick and roll big. And I think that while Drummond has had his moments where he can do that vertically, Bassey's way better at that. Like and he's defensively, he's held up pretty well. Like, well, it will be interesting to see how he plays. And like, we at least have options with those two, but like between Millsap, I mean, famous last words, by the way.
Paul Millsap. That's like an underrated, hilarious element.
Process throwback.
Yeah, really.
Right?
It's the full circle.
Yeah, because did he make the All-Star team over Joel or something?
Yeah,
his rookie
it was
year.
Over Joel it was over Joel. And
yeah.
Now we get to do the Who's Paul Millsap.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be a fun chance. See if that comes out.
Oh my God, Joel! They're just acquiring all of Joel's old people that he's spurned. Are we gonna get Hassan Whiteside on a buyout? Maybe
we have to do it. I honestly, the fact Joel had the show up at the funeral tweet, just like
amazing cherry on top of this trade is. Oh my God. Incredible. So good. Holy shit. Okay, so the Mavericks have been actively exploring trades to move Tim Hardaway and Porzingis. Apologies to those who don't believe reporting deal frameworks provides future context, but fans deserve to know other options were on the table. What is Jake Fisher talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Because
he tweeted that Toronto He tweeted Toronto might move Dragic for Porzingis. But like, yeah, I mean, that was never fucking happened. Yeah. Okay. So Bertans, I mean, like, I can't believe that. First off, I can't believe we got to make another move, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think there's.
that's all I've been thinking about.
I think that might have been part of the timing too, because we're running up 15 more minutes, 13 more minutes here till the bells close and
exactly.
The Dukes come down from the window and see what the trading floor ends up at, and any additional players we can get that'll be helpful, in a role. Shooters are always welcome, especially around these two.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, Toby will probably revert, hopefully, to just more of a shooter and less of dribbles the air out of the ball guy.
Since Tobias, when he first got here and before that, he was shooting 5 threes a game.
Right.
It's really since he's become more of an on-ball guy because he's not like comfortable with catch and shoot threes as much that his volume has dipped. So Tobias needs to buy into being a catch and shoot guy. Like, I don't think it will ever be like come like naturally to him like it does to like Danny Green. But if we could just get him up to 5 a game, and like that's the thing is like I would like to get KCP, but he's kind of similar in that like he's a hesitant 3-point shooter. And that's something that like every guy I want just to chuck around our guys now.
We do have Isaiah Joe still, and I think he's gonna really benefit here.
I hope, but I'm also skeptical that he's an NBA player right now. That's my big concern is that like he might just not be there yet.
Yeah, I mean our playoff rotation, we're gonna have obviously Maxey, Harden, Embiid, Toby, Tybalt, Green, and then kind of figuring. I guess Bassey's your backup center at the moment.
Right.
I don't know if Paul Reed matures into that immediately or not, but
Doc's going to play Millsap until he's forced not to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see what happens. He really loves the vets. I'm just excited we got to the Manu, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker.
I know.
It's finally come to fruition.
The E-Mart prophecy.
Yeah,
we now have Manu. A better version of Manu,
absolutely.
A better version of Tim Duncan parody. We have Tony Parker. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe they kept Maxey, dude. Like that was my biggest thing is like, I was like, I don't care who goes, just keep Maxey and we'll figure out the rest later. It's incredible, man. I think that this definitely makes us more likely to get buyouts. Also, I do just want to say, this has been my opinion the whole time on the backup center thing, which is like, I'm definitely worried about like Bassey and Reed and Millsap and all that shit.
Yeah.
But mainly Joel Embiid is in the best shape of his career and can play more minutes than he ever has before. So there's that, knock on wood. There's that one. And then on top of that, you have the fact that the reason why the Sixers fucking suck without a center on the court that is Joel Embiid is because the other players around him, even when we had Jimmy, were just not good enough to carry units when Joel sat.
Yeah.
Even if you give James Harden a decent backup center, like in theory, between him, Tobias, and Maxey, Doc, if you're watching this, fucking stagger your lineups, dude. If he still does the all bench, this has got to be more
series.
I'm done.
Riot.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like, because I think it's fine to do during the regular season against like bad teams because like you can just kind of like bum hunt and like fucking just like knock all of them down.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, I ultimately think, okay, hold on. Is Ish Smith being traded again? Hold on.
Yeah, he might.
Jalen Smith is unlikely to remain in Indiana. The Nuggets might be trading for him. Okay, that's a nothing. That doesn't matter. Okay. The Lakers and Knicks were close on a deal yesterday, but it fell apart. Okay, who cares? I think that was that Alec Burks trade, but who the Sixers were apparently interested in, but I wouldn't imagine that they are now.
Get Alec Burks back here. It'll take him a week.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, exactly. From New York, like, dude, you can literally just take the fucking Amtrak. Like, you don't have an excuse this time. But
right.
It's CJ. I'm sorry, Nuggets CJ. It is not nothing. Okay, and also I saw that there was a Rockets fan in here earlier. Your GM is a bozo. I don't know what he's doing. You're right. Raphael Stone, wake the fuck up, dude. Like, I hate these teams that are bad and then they have good role players and they're like, we won 7 first-round picks for Eric Gordon and Christian Wood. Like, just trade your guys. Trade your figure it out. Like, save me. Yeah, I know. I know. We did it. James Harden is a Sixer. What's amazing is that the first time around when we were doing it, Morey pretty much gave up the same exact package to get Harden, except you swap in Seth, who I think Seth and Maxey, you could argue, have been the second best player on the Sixers this year. They've both been very good. I think you'd probably give Seth a little bit of an edge just because he's like more consistent until recently.
Right.
By the way, he knew this was happening. Come on.
Yeah. I'll say I'm glad that Seth was like the piece, and that because there was other, parts of it. And Drummond it's fine to me. I don't think he was going to be a huge difference maker in a playoff series. But
I was
Seth,
worried about him in certain matchups.
Right, exactly. And Seth last year, I mean, he shot 60% against the Hawks from 3.
He was incredible,
and still was a defensive liability. So like swapping in Harden as your shooting guard now, you don't lose a ton there. I think Danny Green has a faster trigger. So, him just anchoring the corner with Harden is kind of what you'd want. Maybe they get another guy like that.
Right, because your on-ball reps for Seth were going to go down by a lot anyway. And if your idea...
you can still do those DHOs with him and Harden, or Joel and Harden, and it'll be, a better version of what we were doing.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Like, that's the thing about Harden is, like, Harden's never really been an off-ball guy. If he's going to work here... It's going to have to be, and I'm being a hypocrite because I always joke about Trae Young's dad is talking shit on Twitter. I'm crying. What is he saying? Tell me. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Harden. I mean, Harden is like
Josh Richardson to Seth Curry to James Harden. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Not including Ben Simmons in there.
Well, and the picks too. I mean, I don't care too much about the picks. I know we're kind of barren for the next, foreseeable future now.
Right.
But this is obviously a win now move based on Harden's age. Embiid's, Embiid's young, but you never know how many years you're going to get of him. And Harden. It'll be interesting to see him really captain this offense because he's kind of done that. He did that in Houston. Definitely take that pressure off Joel. I think Joel will be receptive to it. My guess is
the first time in his career he will not be getting double teamed.
Yeah,
every possession.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. I don't know if Rivers is the coach for it, but we'll see.
Oh my God, no, he's not. But here's the thing: I have said this time and time again, and I remain strong in my beliefs that a coach does not matter if the talent is good enough. Right. And I do think that, like, in a game 7, if the Eastern Conference Finals or even the second round, as we've seen, I don't feel great about having Doc Rivers on the sideline. I'm not going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, ultimately, if Joel Embiid just shows that he can be the best player in the world, does it matter? Like, is everyone, and like Budenholzer's a better coach than Doc, but like everyone thought that guy was a bozo until last year when Giannis was like, oh, by the way, I'm one of the 30 greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah. And
it
you're
doesn't
right.
really
That's
matter.
What matters. It's if your best player hits that, and Embiid is hitting that like Giannis tier, this year for sure. I mean, he was kind of in there last year. Giannis did have that supernova finals, like good for him. You hope Embiid has that in him. But now, the supporting cast is, I don't know, like Simmons was never going to be that, not even as useful as a supporting cast as say, like Drew Holiday and Middleton were for Giannis. So now putting Harden in there, the talent's there, right? So now it makes this year immediately, this is a contending year now, I'm really glad just as a fan, we don't have to drag our feet any more on this long provincial nightmare. Like,
it's amazing. I don't know what to do with myself now, though, dude. Like I just said, I'm like, this has been my life for a year, if not longer. Like, I don't really get it, Porter. You have to go watch Parm's fan cam of Windy. What does that mean? Emart and Trill, please go to
fan cam on Discord.
So I'm figuring out what this stuff means. Hold on.
Oh no, there's a lot of reactions in there.
I'm way too old for this. Hold on.
It's just a super cut, like a 2-minute cut of Windhorse being Windhorse. I saw him the other day.
Yeah, Windy. We love it.
I saw him. He was either walking to work or he's in the hotel I'm at. I'm in LA right now.
Right. I forgot you're in LA for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I'm doing research for the Super Bowl, and I saw him the other day, and I was like, I wonder if he's about to break something. So
right. Yeah, well, he clearly was. I mean, Windy is fucking goated. That video is the amazing part, by the way. I love. He's our boy now. He's forever our boy.
It's the best. He's part of the. I hope Parm tweeted that out. We gotta get.
Yeah, Parm, tweet that out and tag me, and I'll retweet it.
Yeah, that's.
Please do. Or send me the video, and I'll tweet it and give you credit.
What a happy day!
Amazing happy. Like my. It's weird because like I feel like I'm like I get like such a dopamine rush from the like new trade whatever that like I've been anticipating this for so long that it didn't even feel like I'm like come down off of it. Like it's not like when you get a dopamine rush and you're like, oh shit, the Sixers got Seth Curry on draft night or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like the Sixers got fucking James Harden. Toronto's trading Chris Boucher, Malachi Flynn to Houston for Daniel Tice, Eric Gordon, and a second-round pick. Oh, that's a fake trade. I was like, wait, no, there's no way Houston did that trade. That's a horrible trade if it is true. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Wait, did Christian Wood is taking touches from my franchise player for another year? I am sorry, Rockets fans. I am very, very sorry. It doesn't sound like there's going to be any movement from Detroit. The two teams that it seemed like could benefit the most from like moves at this deadline to me were Detroit and Houston in terms of like there's not a ton of sellers. The Pacers very smartly sold at the right time. The Trailblazers made a bunch of terrible moves, but they sold too. And the Rockets and the Pistons were the two teams where I'm like, just trade your guys that are taking away touches from your young guys and get back draft capital or get back good young players or whatever. And they just didn't do that.
Yeah, I guess we're running out. Like now is the final moment to get these trades in. Maybe
it's usually until like 3:10 that like we hear about shit.
Yeah, maybe we get something from one of those teams. They've just been fielding offers and they'll just take the best one at the last second. But yeah, I mean, to your point, there's no downside if you're not contending. Like just get what you can and start building for the future, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like. Oh my god, I'm laughing so hard at all this shit. I just can't believe that this actually fucking happened. Okay, so the Celtics just got back Tice. Actually,
wonderful. He's always looked. It's important for the Celtics to have someone who looks like a Boston Celtics fan, and that's like he's felt that.
That's why they were in on Dante.
Yeah, Pritchard. Right, exactly. Pritchard could have stepped into that role, but it was funny because like I was thoroughly enjoying the Celtics smack the Nets around the other night. That was the only time I've ever been overjoyed to see the Celtics destroy a team. Oh, yeah. Cantor got sent to the Rockets. Oh, interesting. I'm assuming that's a salary move by the Rockets. Dennis Schroeder to Houston for Daniel Tice. And I'm not sure if that's a one. It's probably not a 1-for-1, but who knows? Money wise, it adds up. Okay. The Rockets fan. I'm sorry, Beaslebub. Oh my God, Beaslebub's like, are you serious? He literally was just like, we don't need guys that need more touches. 5 minutes and this is my hell. Oh, he couldn't get a buyout. Yeah, this is probably just a financial move. Tillman, baby, saving that money. Yeah, he's definitely going to get bought out. I mean, unless they do what they did with Kelly Olynyk last year. This is what I'm saying. The Rockets are bozos. What are you doing? This is poverty franchise. They have become a poverty franchise. The James Harden, they were fucking Harden Morey merchants. And dude, we lifted both sides of the house. We have Tad Brown and Daryl Morey running both sides of our house now. Now we have James Harden. We're basically like absorbed what the Houston Rockets used to be. MDA next? Yeah, maybe. Mike D'Antoni. Hey, come on over here. We got
Mike D'Antoni, the CIA Texas connection lives on. Wait, but hold on. Did Cantor get included in the deal? It does make sense though. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm going to be honest, I don't really understand how this happened. Why did they even sign Daniel Tice in the first place to a 4-year deal and then immediately trade him for Dennis Schroeder?
I don't know. Why did Portland do anything they did? Like
the Lakers are not going to make any
18
moves.
months.
Lakers are not making any moves at the deadline.
Yeah, what's that? That's got to be tough. I was
they don't have moves.
I thought maybe that rumor with like the Westbrook Tobias like workaround carousel that gets Tobias to the Lakers and like we dump the salary and maybe we get some useful pieces back somewhere, but that's probably too complicated.
Right. It was like that. Yeah, that would have been like Houston sends us Eric Gordon and gets a pick.
Right.
It would have been some crazy shit that like would have never happened. Yeah, I know, but in theory, I mean, you know, Presti is fucking licking his lips at the idea of that. Yeah, okay, so new starting 5 for the Sixers: Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. I don't think you can start those 5 together.
I think you got to start Green.
Yeah,
Green's
you
give
have
you
to
the
start
spacing.
Green. Yep.
Matisse, I feel like he's who you stick on whoever the best offensive player is in like a 1-1 situation in the playoffs. You hope he improves defensively. I mean, you see what you get out of Isaiah Joe. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think he'd be your starting small forward, but
it would have been really nice to get KCP.
We'll see what the buyout market. I think we're like a wing buyout guy is maybe where the Sixers turn their attention next. And then of course it comes down to, how well does Bassey, Millsap, and Reed fill in for like that backup center type role, those non-Embiid minutes. But to your point,
not feeling great about the bench again, but also, we have better guys.
Harden should be able to carry the offense further than, the non-Embiid lineups offense could do. So like better offense might set off, worse defense in that situation. So overall, these are good problems to have. These are the next tier problems after being stuck on this Ben Simmons, 9-month plot, more than that. Yeah, no, forever Meyer.
I was going to say, it's like at this point, it's been over a year if you count back to the original Harden trade when we thought we were trading Ben Simmons for James Harden.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, and I'm just so glad they got something done because to have to whiff on that 2 years in a row and then like,
really 3 straight trades it would have been.
You got to give Morey props here.
I know he's a psycho, but he
finally did it. Finally got something done.
We love you, Patrick Bateman. We love you. We love you. Fucking. Oh my God, he's gonna be. Oh God. Okay, so the Mavericks are releasing. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, Eric Gordon didn't get traded. Jeremy Grant didn't get traded. Cantor was traded to the Rockets, so I'm assuming he will also get bought out. I don't really know. Hold on.
Yeah, we always get those kind of trickle through messages.
Right. Yeah. Bruno Fernando and Cantor were traded. No deal for the Lakers. They will focus on the buyout market. Jeremy Grant is not getting traded. Eric Gordon, that has not been announced yet, but I'm assuming that no one has. No one's just going to give up a first-round pick.
Underrated thing too about, adding Harden it makes the Sixers very attractive for buyout candidates. It's
absolutely, because the depth.
The obvious championship potential. And yeah, it's awesome. Like, I don't know. I think I have to look at what the odds shot up to. I bet on the Sixers at the beginning of the season at 20-1 to win the title. And I'd imagine they're probably at like 8-1 or something now.
Yeah, this definitely was it. It was crazy that the Nets were still the favorites. Even through all of this, I was like, just generally understanding odds and shit from like working at a sports book for a little bit, it just didn't make any sense to me that they were. I don't really understand that. Although maybe people are high on the Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant.
At this moment, they still are. They're plus 420. Nice. On FanDuel in Pennsylvania. And then you have the Warriors at plus 460, Phoenix at plus 500, Bucks at plus 600. Then the Sixers now are plus 650. So they're right in there with the Bucks, Suns, Warriors, and Nets. And I guess for the Nets, it just comes down to what do you get out of Ben Simmons? Like, do you get an engaged, useful player that's going to, finally be in the right situation, or is he going to,
just from like a mental standpoint, he's going to be way better. But like, if it gets to the playoffs and it's Game 7, I still don't want Ben Simmons on my team. And I can see this part being clipped later at a certain point, but I don't give a fuck.
No, it'd be fun. I mean, look, Hack a Ben being on the other side of that would be a lot of fun.
When the option is to hack a Ben or have Ben Simmons and or have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving with the ball, we are loving it, folks. We're absolutely loving it. Okay, so the Sixers went from 12-1 title odds to 7-1 title odds. So
yeah, I mean, preseason, I got them at 20-1, so they really shot up there.
No deals for the Knicks.
I love that Woj. It's just he's just fielding like the depressed calls from the GMs. Like, yeah, we didn't get anything. Sorry about this. Click. I'll get the word out there.
They're like, hey, let them know that we really like our core and that we just didn't get any offers that blew us away, and that they'll all be available in the summer again. By the way,
yeah, what a bizarre. Like, they really outshined their roster last year. Yeah, they're not.
They played all their starters like 45 minutes a game, and they all shot out of their minds and played insane defense because they had a coach that was like motivating them to do that and shit. I will say that's going to be great. The All-Star draft tonight is Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And LeBron James.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Very, very sad drafting All-Stars tonight, including James Harden. Yeah. Wait, no. They don't draft the starters, right? Isn't he a starter? Or no, was he a bench player?
No, I think they pick, if memory serves me right, they have to pick all the starters first.
Okay.
And then they can pick everyone else. So it's still a draft. It'll be fun. I mean, there's this added intrigue. I got to think that there's going to just be some real animosity between KD and Harden after
100%,
this whole last year and a half.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where LeBron selects him tonight. And what would be really funny is if KD drafted Embiid.
Oh yeah, he should. Why not? I mean, have fun. All-Star game's great. Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to this year. It'll be definitely have that added layer.
Yeah.
And then let's see what else we got coming in here.
I was gonna say I don't see any more news. That seems like there might be things trickling in. No deal materialized for the Jalen Smith he's still on the Pacers. Their goal was to get future draft capital.
Sixers next game Saturday, or no, it's tomorrow against the Thunder.
Yes, but he's not going to play there.
I don't think he's going to play. Maybe they play Saturday against the Cavs. Harden will be in the lineup. Who knows?
I think so. That sounds about right to me. Saturday, give him 2 days. Is it at home or is it in Cleveland?
Both are at home. So Thunder Friday at home, Saturday Cleveland at home.
Yeah.
And then,
I think that's what's going to happen. I think ultimately they'll start, especially because the Cavs are a good team. Like they're going to want to have him against like a good team in his first game. And I mean, not that fucking matters. He could just play against the Thunder tomorrow and we could crush them. But
all bunched up there. It's also 1-5 in the East.
Are they going to fake that the injury is real still? Or are they going to be like, oh, he's still recovering from the hamstring,
Maybe. I saw I forget where I saw it. Might have been in Discord or it was like a tweet someone shared about like Harden was, if not traded, was going to consider like surgery. And it's just, I'm sure like he was just putting out.
No,
but that, makes you
hey, by the way.
Yeah, like basically you better trade me or I will ruin your season.
Is Harden going to play February 15th versus the Celtics? I would imagine. I hope so.
Yeah, I gotta think by then he's going to be in there.
Yeah,
I'll be at that game, the February 15th against the Celtics. Looking forward to that one.
So the Sixers have an open roster spot, and the Rockets are considering buying out Dennis Schroeder. Also, Enes Kanter. If we sign Enes Kanter, I'm canceling the podcast. And I will say, I would take back all of the nice things I said about Daryl Morey on here. So
we got to get all the CIA assets in the same room.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Consolidate.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like, this is, all right, hold on. I had to retweet Parm's video. I think it's about time to wrap it up. I
Absolutely.
know I'm ending a little early. I kept it until 3:30 in case the Harden trade went down at 3 p.m. But since the Harden trade did not go down at 3 p.m., it seems like we're out of deals. And till next year, we're gonna do okay. So here's the goal: if the podcast gets big enough that I can just quit my job and live off the podcast, which is what I want to do, at any point in the future, all these slop things will be 24 hours. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna stay up for this, and I'm just gonna stream for 24. I'm gonna figure out a way, and I'm gonna get people to sponsor it, and it's gonna be like Coachella, but for slop. So Slopathon, baby. We're gonna do it. Okay. Eat your heart out, Mark Stein, doing a 2-hour podcast at midnight on the day of the trade deadline. I'm gonna be here for 24 hours, just absorbing the slop. So
I love it.
Emart, thanks for coming on, bud.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Out of nowhere, it was a lot of fun. And James Harden is a sixer. Let's go.
We did it.
Woo! Peace.
See ya.
I didn't. Oh my god. I didn't even know you could show comments during it. I am such an idiot. Next time I know. I accidentally clicked on Drew's comment. Drew, looking good in your photo, by the way. But I will do that next time. All right. Peace.
See you, Trill.